Tonight, I just wanted to speak with you guys a little bit on targeted individuals. Some people are, pretty well read up on it. They know pretty much what it's about, and others have just heard of it and don't really know what's going on with the people. And I'd also like to say that, we're nowhere closer to discovering why targeted individuals are having this harassment come to them than we are to solving the Mandela effect. I mean, honestly, there's been a lot of really logical explanations as to maybe why this is taking place. Like some people say it may be linked to your DNA, or it's because of knowledge that you carry. Others say it's alien abduction and the government, the CIA. I mean, I've heard so many different people with different ideas as to, why this is taking place. And really, honestly, we're no more closer to getting the answers. And, I'd like to say that, a lot of people try to say that when you're a targeted individual, that you've got mental illness or that you suffer from schizophrenia. And that's not necessarily the case. Because, I mean, for me, my entire life, I've had these kind of occurrences happen. And I know several other people that have experienced the same. And, it's not a lot of fun. I mean, when you're in a grocery store and you have strangers, barking at you like a dog and you don't know why, it's kind of crazy. Or when you're driving home, and like me, I live way out in the country, so there's not even a lot of traffic where I live. And you have a fire truck come up behind you with lights on, and you pull over, and the fire truck pulls over behind you and continues with the lights and the horn, and stuff like that. It's not normal. It's just not normal. And then also, like, for instance, about a year ago, and it lasted for about a year, my husband and I both, so it's not just me, it's not just me that actually experienced this occurrence, but we kept hearing like a radio station that would turn on sometimes around midnight or 1 a.m, and you could hear it playing all night long till like 4 a.m. And like I stated, I'm way out in the country, and it's very quiet, very, very quiet where I live. And we would like go outside, and there wouldn't be any music playing. We would like get up out of the bed and come into the living room or go in the kitchen, and there would be nothing. But right there in our bedroom, in the corner of the room, there would be like music playing that was like from the 1920s or 30s, or there would be like Asian music playing, things that he and I would never even put on. And, that's indescribable. And last year, a couple of people are aware of it because I had contacted them and I even tried to record it. I heard like angelic singing coming from the roof of my house. And I went outside, and there wasn't any noise. It was dead silent, so, I mean, can I say that that's attributed to being a targeted individual? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. And I've had gobs of other occurrences happen as well, but that's just a few that I'd like to say that are really bizarre and really strange. And let me introduce my guest. I've got Darian L. Knight with me.
Hi, everyone.
And Darian, do you want to add anything to that?
With some of the weaponry they've got, what they use on targeted individuals, it is possible for them to like point a device and make whatever surface they want turn into a speaker, so it can be like glass.
All right, let me send Floyd's in here. Hi,
They've got like voice to skull technology.
Go ahead.
Then when it comes to like radio things, you got to think it's like the radio speakers, like the old style ones. They weren't that difficult to create, were they? Because most of them would be like quartz crystal radio, and it wouldn't even use like a proper battery.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. I'm gonna Floyd. I've got you, buddy. if you want to get on in here. Hi, Algorithm. So good to see you here. We've got somebody in chat showed up already. But I've got a few articles I want to go over and discuss. Floyd, the link's in your chat, brother. But like I said, I want to wait for Floyd to get over here before I start. Okay, so if Floyd messages you, go ahead and just holler at me, Therian, okay?
Yeah.
Let me see here. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to share my screen so that way you guys can see. Hi, Floyd. So you guys
Hey,
can see
brother.
what I'm talking about here.
Hey, I don't know what happened to my avatar picture. I'm gonna have to get me a new one.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see here. Go here right quick. I hope I've got the right one. Let's see.
Hey, if I get booted off, you guys will know why I'm fixing my avatar picture.
Okay. All right. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, this is an
Okay,
article.
I got my avatar picture back.
This is an article
wow,
that
what-
I have, and it's End Times and Forbidden Knowledge, and it says Revelation shows us the signs that we're in the end times, and the time when religion is finally understood through science, and it's not exactly what we're told. So this says targeted individuals. And the side it says mind control, and it's all around you. It says electronic harassment, evil empire, game stalking, Illuminati, John, not mind control, OSDH, quantum entanglement, saying it's the science targeted individuals in the matrix. And so it says here remote neural stimulation and recording. And it says the type of mind control we talk about at MOFK has nothing to do with subconscious messages through advertising and television. It's not related to flickering lights or brainwave entertainment. For the effects we have witnessed, we think are really, really stupid suggestions as mechanisms. And it says real mind control involves the activation of suppression or action potentials, the firing of an individual neuron, and in a pattern which creates a real effect in the brain of humans. And it says it can also settle. You might not even notice it happening to you. And it says neurons fire in patterns and in groups, and the result of these firing patterns is thoughts, feelings, movement, etc. It is scientifically possible to cause these firing patterns to be activated remotely. And it says without the use of an implant by injecting electricity into the individual neurons using advanced technology. So this is done by teleporting charge via entanglement, something that has been alluded to in recently published research. And it says, for the last 5 decades, U.S. intelligence has done a significant amount of research and development into technology called Tempest. This technology was originally used in order to reconstruct usable information from monitors, integrated circuits, etc., in order to remotely surveil electronic devices. And it says later technology was developed which was able to do the reverse. And the cause of these machines is to act in a certain manner. So human brains are for all intents and purposes advanced computers whose mechanism of action is the product of electrical impulses and the technology surrounding Tempest. It could be, let's see, throw in a bit of neuroscience research, and you have the proverbial and with a bit of infrastructure build out, Orwell's prophecy fulfilled. So,
Yep.
it says there's proof that this technology is perfected and it's all around you. You know, a Lockheed Martin researcher spoke about it publicly in 1999. I used to live right by Lockheed Martin. And it may have gotten him killed. That's John Dorsey. He had a lot to say about mind control. NASA has talked about its potential use in airports, and there are a significant number of victims complaining about it all over the world. You know, if the technology is sufficiently advanced enough, it can be so subtle you won't even notice it. So if you look at the big picture, you'll probably agree it might be happening.
I
So
agree.
What do you think about that, Darian?
Did Darian leave
I don't-
again?
I don't
I think
know.
he got booted off again. Did he? Are you there? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I've been in backstage for like the last 3 minutes.
Hi,
Oh,
Chef.
wow.
Nice to see you
Yeah,
here.
I did message Floyd, but didn't see him.
Okay, did Floyd's here? Floyd's here, Darian. Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah, Darian was
Yeah.
backstage.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think about that?
I agree.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. That explains the how Satan is working on people to turn away from God. Satan's trying his best to make people turn away from the Lord Jesus, you know.
Yeah. Well, is
That
that
makes some sense, but it's like you got to remember Satan goes down many paths to try and like deceive people.
That's true too. Yeah, that's very true.
absolutely?
Like one of the ways like Satan like tries to deceive believers and lead them into like sin is he opened the Vatican.
Yeah.
There you go.
Brother Jonathan Kleck does a good job showing the Vatican on what the Catholic Vatican and Rome truly is.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Serpent crown.
I'm gonna keep reading, guys. It appears the United States military used it to cover up the existence of a network of spy satellites. It said there's a significant amount of public research in the field. Imagine where the military is now. You know, why are we trying to save the world from a tyrannical intergovernmental organization that is hell bent on destroying our species? It says, please help by reading the links below. Da, da, da. And then it says, this will start what has been called an awakening, at which point public knowledge of something really insidious might help to stop it from happening. And it's also possible to destroy entanglement, which might be the equivalent to a modern day exorcism or freeing yourself from the matrix.
Yep.
And it says a pattern in history. We believe it is a map and a signature, proving that the voice of God or technology is being humanity. And here's how it works. It says the map above leads us to a specific mechanism of how this technology works. And this is the science behind modern day mind control. And it's mark on history. It says this means the prior to the last half century, the technology. I can't read. There's too much noise going on. Who's making all that noise?
Yeah, I'm a bit like walking through rooms at the moment.
Okay. It says this means prior to the last half century, this technology was in the hands of a nefarious force, one which pulled strings and major human events without our knowledge or approval. And then it gives you relation to religion and why we care. Let's see. It says how I know about mind control. This is a work in progress, updated daily. It is a personal story of Illuminati mind control, gang stalking, psycho surveillance, general weirdness, and it takes you through the story of events that occurred between 2010 and 2011 and describes the inner thoughts of the interaction with the dark force shaping the future of humanity. And it says, I believe this force to be older than humanity, unearthly, and directly responsible for many religious phenomenon throughout our history. It's also current, engaging world governments, intelligence agencies, and organized crime in a conspiracy designed to fulfill the prophecy of Revelation. Yep. So, and over here it talks about Occam's razor, electronic harassment, evil empire, mind control, quantum entanglement, that stuff. But it says we get a lot of people asking if we're ever heard of Occam's razor. So have you guys heard of it?
Yeah.
I'm booted. There we go. Yeah, I was booted off. StreamYard
Oh,
booted me off.
Floyd, have you heard of Occam's razor?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
Nope.
I'm fixing to read about it. Okay, it says the Stargate project was the umbrella code name of one of several sub-projects established by the U.S. federal government to investigate claims of psychic phenomena with potential military and domestic applications, particularly remote viewing. The purported ability to psychically see events, sights, and information from a great distance. So humans have evolved in some instances to be able to remotely view important images and scenes given a set of longitude and latitude coordinates, two numbers invented by humans that have no real meaning. Then the United States military studies the phenomenon of 2 decades before declaring the project a failure and closing it. So it says an intelligence agency was transferring these images into the brains of victims and participants of Stargate in order to hide the existence of a network of hyperspectral satellites from lower echelons of the military and the public. And how about this one? The CIA and NSA have created a vast network of hyperspectral satellites which can see through walls and in deep into ground, and they have then trained only outside the boundary of the United States of America. Says the CIA and NSA really enjoy it when you are showering. They also see every crime being committed throughout the country and refuse to allow the system to be used to fix our justice system. And it's obvious that our federal government has the ability to solve most crimes without much effort, like murder, abduction, and drug trafficking. And they don't because they're worried we will find out about something obvious, such as intelligence agencies having access to real-time satellite imagery of the entire surface of the planet.
Wow.
And then, yeah, they'd prefer not to deal with pesky things like the Fourth Amendment. So this is what I call evidence of the psycho surveillance infrastructure and its implementation long ago. It's been here since at least the U2 incident, as that was clearly a cover-up for the satellite network. There's proof of the use of on the ground in Dallas, and the military's fascination with psychic phenomena. It's just about It's just about as rock solid as you can get these days.
Wow.
Welcome to reality. It's been about science and technology the whole time. So please take your heads out of the sand.
Definitely. People need to get their heads out of their asses and wake up and see reality for what reality truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add there, Ian?
Yeah, well, think about it. If it's like the general public found out, about the spy satellites recording everything 24/7. How many people with kids would be able to sue the US government for like the kids being spied on? So they don't want to go down that aspect, do they?
No, they
don't.
The government probably already has a secret order or amendment intact to protect them from this crap anyway. You know what you're saying? They always do. They're always one step ahead. And when it comes to evil, they're always trying to be a step ahead.
Yeah, it's like, think of it, these smart TVs, with the cameras built in.
I mean, why do we have?
I think it's stupid that anyone would even want to buy a TV with a camera built in.
I was going to say, why do we even have a need for a TV with a camera? Honestly.
Yeah.
And why do we have camera? Here's a good question. Why do we have cameras in all of our electronic devices? Heck, why are there cameras everywhere we go out in public? Heck, why are there cameras in street lights, hidden in street lights? But if you're awake, you can truly see the hidden cameras. The government's spying on us 24. The government is spying on us 24/7. It doesn't matter what country you're in. They're spying on us 24/7.
The thing is, you can understand it with like mobile phones, tablets, laptops. Why don't have the camera built in? Because then people can use them for video chat, and the people know they're there.
Yeah,
But when it
definitely.
comes to a TV, that's a completely
Alright.
different thing. It's like saying,
Yeah.
do you want like built-in camera in your fridge? So every time you open your fridge door, it takes a picture of you.
Yeah.
Would you want that?
No, I would not. No, I would not want that. No. Heck no.
Okay, I'm back. Jesse was knocking at the door.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, let me get back to what I was reading real quick. Let me find it. So it says here. It says the throne of the dragon. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. That's Revelation 13:2. Over the past 70 years, as part of the machinations of the Cold War, it says, a secret influence has been transferring knowledge or advanced physics, of neuroscience to the KGB and CIA, a secret battle hidden deep in the recesses of the war. The advanced weapons created during this time period would prove to be much more damaging to the human condition than the nuclear arms that were publicized. The technology was being reverse engineered from alien artifacts, which are intentionally and clandestinely transferred to both nations in staged events like Roswell,
Huh.
which I wouldn't call them. I wouldn't call it alien technology myself personally. I would call it technology of antiquity that we call the fallen angels used.
I would call it fallen angel AI technology. AI demonic fallen angel technology. There we go.
Yeah, ultimately leading to the end of the war at the eventual union of the American intelligence community with Russian organized crime. These weapons would be turned in on the innocent citizens of the world using technology which has been hidden through the use of idiotic projects like MK Ultra and Stargate. The Beast, the hidden fascist empire within the United States government would begin silencing political dissidents, scientists, authors, and those who would otherwise help protect our free society from the evil. And it says the 144,000, those being witness of the beast. Now,
Us.
it says after this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands. Revelation 7:9. They were not allowed to kill them, but only to torture them for 5 months. Revelation 9:9. Okay. In early 2011, victims of organized stalking and electronic harassment went en masse to complain and seek help from the presidential committees on bioethics in Washington, D.C. They presented in-person testimony to a panel of experts detailing and describing abuses which could come from no other source than the use of advanced mind control technology. Now, the body of victims, the targeted individuals, is the 144,000, it says, doing battle with the beast. Their testimony is that of the existence of the technology and of the nefarious organization which would use it against innocent civilians. They are a small subset of those being abused by mind control technology, but they are the ones that were given the ability to testify as to its effects. And it says it's almost uncanny ability to be hidden from view, and the ones driven through torture to make a public spectacle its horrors. And so shortly after, the Bioethics Commission would state that they were not a law enforcement body and would no longer hear public testimony regarding weaponized abuse or advanced neuroscience on the general population. And then it says, I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of God's holy people, the blood of those who bore the testimony to Jesus. And that's Revelation 17:6. And this is about Danny Casolaro. It says Casolaro called it the octopus. And for me, the octopus has got to do with Civil Cain. The vast network reaching out, the arms reaching out to the whole world, of the beast system. Okay, it says a vast interlocking network of criminal conspiracy that reaches into every branch of agency of the United States government, many other national governments, and every sector of our societies. It says, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads with 10 crowns, and on its horns and on each head a blasphemous name. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. Revelation 13:1 and 2. And it says, for great beasts, each different from the others, came up out of the sea. Daniel 7:3. It says, an investigative reporter seeking the truth, Danny told his friends he was meeting an informant to bring back the head of the octopus. When his body was found in a hotel in Martinsburg, West Virginia on August 10th, 1991, much of the evidence he had gathered was missing, and the death was ruled a suicide. But the evidence supports murder. He never had the chance to write the book he was working on. And we know Ted Gunderson. Let's talk about that. A member of law enforcement.
Ted Gunderson was a good man.
FBI agent Ted Gunderson. He was inexplicably unable to attend one of these sessions where he planned on testifying about organized stalking and electronic harassment. Mr. Gunderson was murdered shortly after he failed to attend, and he was involved in the cover-up of the Danny Casolaro murder and plays a prominent role in The Last Circle, a first-hand account of the use of mind control technology in the cover-up of Inslaw affair. It says Iran-Contra and Casolaro's ultimately demise.
Yeah. Here's 3 great men that spoke out the truth that the government hated so much. Ted Gunderson, Edward Snowden, and William Cooper.
I've got a few more you could add to that list, Floyd.
Who else, brother?
Let's see. There's Assange, Tommy Robinson, Paul Golding, other people who've come forward about things the government's been trying to cover up. When it comes to gang stalking, gang activities.
Wow.
Because you got to remember the governments of the whole planet. It's some of them where it's illegal for their own citizens to be spied on, by their own military.
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll hire companies from abroad to do it. But it's the NSA, they could have probably got away with more if they just moved all their operation to Mexico or Canada. Because then it would have classed as Americans spying on Americans.
True. Very true.
Okay. So, let me go back to where I was. I went over to chat for a minute. Jenny said, go her box there. Jim Keith, it says, in August of 1999, Jim Keith fell from a stage and broke his knee at the Burning Man Arts Festival, held on the Black Rock Desert in Nevada, about 120 miles north of his hometown in Reno. It says on September 7th, he entered the Washoe Medical Hospital for knee surgery and died in the intensive care unit shortly after surgery was completed, when a blood clot released and entered his lung. The coroner's report listed cause of death as blunt force trauma. Cryptically, Keith stated, prior to his death, I have the feeling that if they put me under, I'm not coming back. He is survived by 2 daughters. Okay, so on the ethics of Satan's throne, If this research pans out, you can begin to manipulate what someone is thinking even before they know it. The ethics don't concern me, but they should concern someone else. That says John Norton. John was introduced to us as an employee of Lockheed Martin, as a semiotic specialist and brain researcher in the area of biofusion, a field of study which turned out to mean the weaponization of the mind. And John was unusually forthcoming on all those weird topics that intelligence types refrain from discussing, from mind control to UFOs to underground labs to psychotronic technology, the life after death to telepathy. He finally
Now, honey and
let me
sister,
finish.
when
Wait,
they're saying,
let me
when
wait.
they're, okay,
Let me finish this so I don't get lost.
sorry, sister.
Okay. He finally reached the point in this argument where it was scheduled to become a public debate this fall at the Pell Center for International Relations in Newport, Rhode Island. Okay, what were you going to say now?
When they're meaning underground labs, are they meaning cloning factories and labs too?
Well, I don't necessarily think they're speaking about clones, Floyd. They're just speaking about like government underground labs.
Yeah, because I wanted to bring that up because the cloning labs are very real too.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr.
Floyd, you got to remember when they use terms like underground labs, they don't always mean that the lab is underground. It can just mean it's like a black site, like
It's hidden
it's
in
like hidden in plain sight.
Okay, so that's why they call it underground, hidden in plain sight. Okay.
It's underground. It's anything that's hidden from us. Like you remember the Underground Railroad where they helped free the slaves.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go, guys. My phone's dying.
Okay, well, you can come back. You're welcome to.
Yeah, I'll come back in definitely. I just gotta
Okay,
charge my phone quick.
Okay.
Love you guys. I'll
Bye.
be back in.
Okay.
Love you all in the chat
Yeah,
room.
speak to you later, Floyd.
Speak to you guys later.
Okay. Love you. Bye bye.
Love you guys.
Love you too, brother.
It says here that Mr. Norsing was murdered prior to that public debate that he was supposed to go speak at. And it says, now when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower and kill them. And that's Revelation 11:7. So here it says, part of the series of the hidden meaning of Revelation, the first of the seals were broken on 12/12/12. Okay. So I don't know what to read first, the little print or the big print. I'll do the big print. It says, the 10 horns of the beast are 10 kings who came not yet risen to power. They will be appointed to their kingdoms for one brief moment to reign with the beast. That's Revelation 17:12. And the small print now it says, then the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God, one saying to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. And the four angels who had been prepared for the hour and the day and the month and the year were released, so that they would kill a third of mankind. The number of the armies of the horsemen was 200 million. I heard the number of them, and this is how I saw it in the vision. The horses and those who sat on them, the riders had beast plates, the color of fire, and a hyacinth, and of brimstone, and the heads of the horses are like the heads of lions, and out of their mouths proceed fire and smoke and brimstone. A third of mankind was killed by these three plagues, by the fire and the smoke and the brimstone, which proceeded out of their mouths. For the power of the horses is in their mouths and in their tails, for their tails are like serpents, and have heads, in which them they do harm. It says the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent of the works of their hands, so as not to worship demons and the idols of gold and of silver and of brass and of stone and wood, which can neither see nor hear nor walk, and they did not repent of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their immorality, nor of their thefts. So it says, then I wanted to know the meaning of the fourth beast, which was different from all the others and most terrifying, with its iron teeth and bronze claws, the beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head and about the other horn that came up before, which 3 of them fell, the horn that looked more imposing than the others, and that had eyes and a mouth that spoke boastfully. As I watched, this horn was waging war against the holy people and defeating them until the Ancient of Days came and pronounced judgment in favor of the holy people of the Most High. And the time came when they possessed the kingdom. Now he gave me this explanation. The fourth beast is a fourth kingdom that will appear on earth. It will be different from all the other kingdoms and will devour the whole earth, trampling it down and crushing it. And the 10 horns are 10 kings who will come from this kingdom. After them, another king will arise, different from the earlier ones. He will subdue 3 kings, and he will speak against the Most High and opposes his holy people and try to change the set times and laws. The holy people will be delivered into his hands for a time, times, and half a time. And that's Daniel 7:19 through 25. Anything you want to say about any of this yet?
No, I'm just thinking of other stuff here, like with the governments, the way they're acting.
Uh-huh.
That and it's like some of the recent stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for them to, like, at this point in time, call like a state of emergency on the UK, roll out the full on spy programs, you know what they're using in secret.
Yep.
And all the technology they're using.
I think they're already doing it, brother. Yeah, I think that's already happening. We just don't know it, you know? Seriously, I think we just don't know it. Okay. All right, it says here, while being imprisoned without bond, a political prisoner of the United States of America, the true meaning of the seals of Revelation was communicated to me. It says, this was published on the internet from captivity on 12/12/12. The United States and its allies represent the fourth beast of Daniel 7 and has been described in literature as the octopus, beginning with Danny Casolaro. You know, for me, like I said, the octopus for me relates back to Tubal Cain, you know, and them having those tentacles that reach throughout the whole world. That with that, you know, with the nefarious power they have. Okay, so it says, when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. And they called out in a loud voice, how long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood? Revelation 6:9-10. Here is the quiet strength of the saints who kept the orders of God and the faith of Jesus. Right there's Revelation 14:12. It says, I could see that she was drunk with the blood of God's holy people who were witnesses for Jesus. And I stared at her in complete amazement. Revelation 17:6. Okay. Casolaro is one of the saints of Revelation, murdered for his testimony by the government. And Sherry Seymour is the last circle in his story. The synchronicity and coincidence between his name and his chosen name for the corrupt organization which killed him, and the books of Daniel and Revelation are too much to be ignored. It says there are many other saints, the victims of the octopus, those being tortured with advanced technology all around the world, and the authors who have tried to expose the atrocity, and the scientists who have spoken out, and the politicians who have tried to warn us. Sean, Steen, Jim Key, Sherry Seymour, John Norsine, Kennedy, Reagan, Diana, the 10 kings without kingdoms are presidents of the United States, described through the eyes of a prophet with no knowledge of comprehension of democracy. And Revelation tells us 3 have been killed, Kennedy and Reagan among them, victims of the octopus. Open your eyes. It says from the time that the daily sacrifice is abolished and the abomination that causes desolation is set up, there will be 1,290 days. Blessed is the one who waits for and reaches the end of the 1,335 days, or 1,335 days. Daniel 12:11-12 says, and I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1,260 days. Revelation 11:3. According to Daniel's revelation, this might put the coming of the Ancient of Days on, they said 5/25/16, but we know that's not happening. And the destruction of the evil empire, blah, blah, blah. The beauty of these dates calculated from 12/12/12 is too much to be ignored. And that date is a key, which we know nobody sets dates. You can't set dates because you'll fail every time. You know, you can't be a date setter. It says, I am a fellow servant of yours and your brethren who hold the testimony, for the testimony is the spirit of prophecy. Revelation 19:10. So, anyway, that's the only thing. That's the only thing I can really disagree about. We don't ever set dates, you know, because you won't get anywhere doing that. Just saying.
Like, never make plans, just let things happen when they happen.
Absolutely.
The most thing you should think of, like, when you're making a plan, is whether you're going to go somewhere or do something, but you don't want to set it. Because if you try setting it as a date, something will always come up to change that path.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we know we're never supposed to do that. So, yeah. Whoever does know, they're going to wind up looking dumb every time. Can you see my screen right now? What's on it?
Yeah.
Does it say people of Yahuwah?
I think it does. It's hard to tell on this phone. It's like.
Okay. Do you see blue? Do you see baby blue right here on the left-hand side?
I see the blue light right in the middle.
Okay. I just want to make sure that it's on the screen. Okay, this right here, this is called People of Yahuwah. And it says, New York City is the mother of harlots named Babylon. And it's Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And it says targeted individuals, gang stalking, and Babylon. This is part 5. And it says the names that bring salvation. And it says the Creator's name. Okay, let's go over here. The religious faith-based testimony. This is a religious faith-based testimony about my personal experience as a targeted individual. For those who do not believe in a creator or of the heavens and the earth, or believe in a different religious faith, or if you are an atheist, it is up to you to decide if you want to continue with this testimony, okay? And she says, I believe the name of the head creator is Yahuwah. I believe the name of Messiah, the creator, is Yeshua, and I do too. What is a targeted individual? Okay, it says a targeted individual, or TI, is a person who has been placed under 24/7 surveillance and harassment by a group of strangers, but can include surveillance and harassment by family, neighbors, friends, and coworkers. And it said targeted individuals call those who commit these crimes and surveillance and harassment perpetrators or perps. They are also called gang stalkers. And it says the term interfaith dialogue refers to cooperative, constructive, or positive interaction between people of different religious traditions. And it says and or spiritual or humanistic beliefs at both the individual and institutional levels. And it says throughout the world there are local, regional, national, and international interfaith initiatives, and many are formally and informally linked to the constitute large networks or federations. And it says that the often quoted five, it says there will be no peace among the nations without dialogue among the religions, was formulated by Dr. Hans Kung, I think it says, a professor of ecumenical theology and president of the Global Ethic Foundation. Which religious faiths are against world peace? It says now that the interfaith dialogue has been connected to the peace process as a necessary factor of world peace, it makes anyone who does not want to be a part of the interfaith dialogue look as though they are against world peace. So it says a false peace and safety. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, a travail upon as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. At a time when the world falsely believes that the nations have achieved peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. And it says there is war against the remnant seed of the saints. Okay. Revelation 12:17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahuwah and have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay. So Revelation 13:7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome, and power that was given to him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And there will be wars of the dragon and beast. We learn that the dragon and beast will make war against the remnant seed of the saints. And the remnant seed, it says biological seed of Abraham and Jacob, who keep the commandments of God and have testimony of Jesus. It says the saints, all true believers worldwide, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. And they will make war against Jesus. Revelation 16:13 and 14. 13. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of God, of Jesus, or God Almighty. Okay, it says there will be war. Okay, it says the Messiah only can bring true peace. There will be no peace for the people of God or of Jesus until Jesus comes. And there will always be war until the end of this age, because war is profitable. There can only be a false peace. Targeted individuals are engaged in a secret war of their lives on a daily basis. Some of the targeted individuals are casualties of war. When the powers on earth are not making war out in the open, they are making war in secret. Terror and fear means no peace. Targeted individuals should not be deceived by the peace and safety lie, because we have no peace or safety. Okay. So in 20, go ahead.
Yeah, these gang stalkers, like the way they operate, against targeted individuals.
Uh-huh.
they will have limits to what they can do and what they can take in return. And I found this out through like trial and error with them after going through all this. They will hire junkies to follow people. And when you get a junkie like in a snare trap and you've got them hanging upside down, they will tell you a lot very quickly.
Yeah.
Because they don't know you. And sometimes using like their tactics against them does work, but not always. And they will back off if you do certain things.
Darian, I'm gonna go get me a drink. You keep going, okay?
Yeah, it's like they use people who are homeless, drug addicts, problems, where they can easily manipulate them with money to carry out their needs. They also have surveillance vans, stuff like that. They use technology like Wi-Fi jammers, voice to skull, infrared cameras. It's literally like being hunted, putting up with these people. If it starts getting to that type of point for anyone watching now, I suggest you get like hidden cameras and stuff, like surveillance. It's not that expensive. They have them on eBay for about $20 upwards for these hidden cameras. They just use the mini SD cards. That type of thing, yeah, is like a must.
Yep, I have.
Also, it's like if you're just getting it like where they're following you only when you're out in public, look up the area where you walk in, try and find routes and paths that lead, like in one direction where it's like nobody can easily follow you that way.
I've got a camera in my car too. Yep. When that crap started happening with the fire truck, it happened twice to me, and it was just I don't know why it scared me so much, but I felt so threatened, and I literally broke down and cried. That last time when I came home. So ever since that occurred, I've had that camera in my car, and I feel a lot better with it being there. Nothing's happened since I put that camera in my car.
Yeah. That's one of the things they'll do, though. It's like they'll look for people, who don't have cameras because they class them as easy targets.
Yep. Well, ever since that happened, I try to have, one of you guys with me when I go shopping. I put my headphones on, my earphones, and I pretty much talk to you guys the whole time I'm shopping. And nothing's occurred in the store anymore either. I've just taken, I'm taking my own. I've done what I can, to protect myself, taking my own measures and my own means.
Yeah, there's also ways, when you're out in public where you can see if you're being followed.
Uh-huh.
It's like if you smoke, get some rolling tobacco on some papers. Like if it's like a dry day and you think you're being followed, just stop in the middle of the street, turn around, and act like you're making a roll up, so then you can see behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, then walk around the corner, go onto another street, walk along so far, do exactly the same thing again. Because anyone looking for a surveillance camera at you in public, they'll think you're just standing that way because of the wind. That's what people think. It's a great way so you can look behind you without making it obvious.
Well, I've often wondered, are you guys, being targeted for a reason, or we just some schmucks that, they just chose to pick on. I often wonder, is it because of a religious stance? Is it because of something in your DNA? Is it, I don't know. Because you have a soul? I don't know.
Yeah, I've looked into that type of thing, and it's I've met other people who are targeted individuals.
Yeah.
And the thing that didn't make any sense was it's the religion aspect was all different.
Yeah.
Some of them were atheists, some of them were Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist.
That's the same as people that the Mandela effect theory. The same.
Yeah, so it's like you've got like a mix of cultures there. It's like diverse. Then it's like you've got to look at other things, and it's like some of them, it's like they'd been involved in military at points in their life, and then they'd left. They'd had like dishonorable discharges. So that's like a reason they could be in the program thing with the targeted individuals.
Well, you know, I've encountered some people that have been targeted since they were small children. You know, they basically claim since birth, you know. And so that's why I just wonder. I wonder.
Yeah, I think some of it could do with those tests they give out to people in schools. You know, it's like the careers day stuff where it's like they're trying to predict the future of that person to see what type of job would be right. I reckon they've got like other ones where it's like psychological.
Well,
Because look at all these tests, it's like people when they're answering questionnaires and that, they'll try and give like a truthful, honest answer.
is that Tiger?
Yeah.
I can hear him. I know his voice. I don't even have to see him. I can hear his voice. Yeah. He's got to say hi, everybody. He's telling everybody hi. But anyway, let me get back up here to the screen. Okay.
And I'm just
So-
going to take this opportunity to say hi to everyone in chat again.
Okay. Right here it says the United Nations support of interfaith dialogue. It says in 2010, H.M. King Abdullah II addressed the 65th UN General Assembly and proposed the idea for a World Interfaith Harmony Week to the future broaden his goals of faith-driven world harmony by extending his call beyond the Muslim and Christian community to include people of all beliefs and those with no set religious beliefs as well. And it says a few weeks later, HRH Prince Ghazi bin Mohammed presented the proposal to the UN General Assembly, where it was adopted anonymously as a UN observance event. The first week of February every year has been declared a UN World Interfaith Harmony Week. And it shows you here the symbols of the religions of the world. It says symbols representing Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Jews, Baha'is, Exkis, Sikhs, Jains, Wiccans, Unitarian Universalists, Shintoists, Taoists, Selamites, Henricists, and Zoroastrians. It says there is one faith, and Adonai, head chief. Ephesians 4:4-6. It says there is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one faith, one baptism, one God of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. There is only one faith, and it is up to each one of us to determine if whether or not we are in that one faith. And it says, why are we targeted individuals? The reason for religious faith. That's something we were just talking about. The word Bible reveals that some of us will become targeted individuals because of our religious faith. Many people have a religious faith that could be chosen by a perpetrator to be tested no matter what the religious faith is. At the time that I became a targeted individual, I considered myself a Christian who believed in God, Jesus, and the Lord. However, through research and study, I no longer identify myself as a Christian who believes in the English names of God, Jesus, and the Lord. I believe in the personal names of Yahuwah and Yeshua as the source of my salvation if I endure in the one faith to the end. And it says Babylon is a murderer. Revelation 17:5-6. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babel, and the great mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Drunken with the blood equals killer or murderer. And it says Babel or Babylon is a murderer of the people of Yahuwah and Yeshua in these last days. And Babel or Babylon is a murderer. Continued right here. It says
Now,
Revelation.
if you look at one thing you can take from that, it's like the new Babylon is Europe.
Go ahead and explain.
It's like the EU. It's like, look at the symbolism they use, like the EU. They've got the headquarters looking like the Tower of Babel itself. They've actually built it, to look like that painting. It's like then they take all this religious symbolism from all these different cultures, and they don't pick the good aspects, they pick all the bad aspects and they put them together in one place. You've got to look at that as a bit suspicious in general, don't you?
Yep, I agree. I agree. Mhm.
It's like you got to think it's like image puts off what they're like portraying. And the thing is, it's like you look at what they say, you look at what imagery they're putting out there, and you get like a bigger picture. Reminds me of that saying, it's like you don't judge a person by the words, you judge them by their actions.
Yeah.
Because then that way it's like the words can mean one thing, but if they're a liar, it's like their actions are obviously going to show the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You got to observe everything.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to like the spelling they use as well. It's like Babel, Babel.
Yeah.
Change a letter, you get like Bible.
Yeah. Well, the Tower of Babel actually means gateway to God.
Yeah, but look at how that story ended.
I know. It's like a square of antiquity. That's what I call it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a gateway to God, but they're not telling you which God.
Yeah. Exactly. I believe
It's
that.
like when they're building that, they're also worshipping Baal at the same time.
I believe it. Absolutely. It's what it says here. The interfaith dialogue is religious confusion, basically. It says the interfaith dialogue doctrine is against the doctrine of Yahuwah, which proclaims one faith. As for the people of Yahuwah, or God, the interfaith doctrine is a matter of confusion. In the Abari language, one word for confusion is as follows: Baal, ta, and it says Baal, confusion, violation of nature or divine order, perversion, sexual sin, pollution, profanation. The TA can be considered a prefix and not part of the root word Baal. There is confusion in Babel or Babylon. The place named Babel or Babylon has confusion in her as follows. Ba is Baal equals Baal equals confusion, and that's violation of nature or divine order. Perversion is sexual sin, pollution, or profanation. So they are not flesh and blood. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers and against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against wickedness in high places. So there are living beings on earth that are not composed of flesh and blood. They are composed of nuach, which is spirit. And they are the rulers of this world in high places. Okay, who is the government? The government is as follows. Government equals fallen angels who have power. Government equals any living being that has been given the power, secret knowledge, and secret technology, and authority to rule by the fallen angels. The fallen angels are the rulers along with any living being that choose to give their power to or are commanded to give their power to. So they know and they ignore. The fallen angels, Nikola Tesla, aka Nicholas Sarkovsky, and others knew about the directed energy weapons because they are the ones who have invented and given the secret knowledge and secret technology about the weapons to the mankind in these last days. However, the fallen angels, who are the rulers, will continue to ignore our pleas for help as targeted individuals because they are malevolent beings. They do not work for the good of mankind. So a faith-based approach is rejected by some. There are websites and social media groups dedicated to the subject of targeted individuals, gang stalking, and directed energy weapons, which have terms of use, rules of group comment, participation, rules that reject and ban targeted individuals who have a religious faith-based approach to their targeted individual experience. So these websites ban comments which include language about a higher power, evil, aliens, but the word Bible reveals that we are engaged in war and battle with entities that were cast out of the heavenly realm, which are not composed of flesh and blood. They are not human. So it says here, the aliens. The fallen angels are aliens in the sense that they are foreigners and strangers who were cast out of heaven to earth. They're interdimensional beings. They are not indigenous to the earth. The fallen angels have the ability to transform themselves into other life forms. There have been reports of sightings of big-headed little green or gray men. Big-headed. Okay. Signs of big-headed men. Okay. I believe it is possible for the fallen angels to either make themselves look like the big-headed little green or gray men or the orange ones, or to use biological science or hologram science to produce the image of the big-headed little green or gray men or the orange ones to deceive the mankind. And this is the meaning of stalk. Okay. To follow an animal or person that you are hunting or trying to capture by moving slowly and quietly. To go through a place or area while hunting. To follow, watch, and bother someone constantly in a way that is frightening, dangerous, etc. To pursue obsessively and to the point of harassment. Okay. It says the Pharisees and Sadducees were gang stalkers. Matthew 16:1. The Pharisees also were the Sadducees, and they came and tempting desired him that he would shew them a sign from heaven. Okay. It says Matthew 19:3. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? The Pharisees and Sadducees often watched and followed Jesus. Okay, so now the meaning of tempt. To cause someone to do or want to do something, even though it may be wrong, bad, or unwise. To entice to do wrong by promise of pleasure or gain. Obsolete, to make trial of test, to try, presumptuously provoke, to risk the dangers of, to induce to do something, to cause to be strongly inclined. So it says the Messiah was a targeted individual. Jesus was tempted, tried, tested by the Pharisees and Sadducees, who were of the mankind and his kinsmen, just as targeted individuals are tempted, tried, and tested daily by gang stalkers and directed energy weapons. The Messiah was tempted, tried, and tested in his religious faith. So the Pharisees and Sadducees were gang stalkers, basically it's saying. Matthew 22:15. Then went the Pharisees and took the counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And it says, Luke 6:7. And the scribes and Pharisees watched him whether he would heal on the Shabbat or the Sabbath day, and they might find an accusation against him. And it says, your religious faith matters. The Pharisees and Sadducees followed, watched, tried to entangle, and conspired against the Messiah named Jesus. And just as targeted individuals are followed, watched, tried, entangled, accused, conspired against, the gang stalkers of the Messiah eventually ended up killing him, all because of his religious faith. There are those who do care about what your religious faith is, and there are those who will be offended by what your religious faith is. The New World Order believed that religious faith prevents peace. The devil is a gang stalker. Matthew 4:1-2. Then was Yeshua led up to the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And it says the bread temptation, ban equals male child. Matthew 4:3-4. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the ban of Jesus, no, of God, excuse me. If thou be the ban of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahuwah, or God. Bread equals food. Bread equals the word or Bible. Which of these two breads is more important? The meaning of edify. To edify is to teach someone in a way that improves the mind or character. Archaic, to build or establish. To instruct and improve, especially in moral and religious knowledge. Uplift, also enlighten or inform. The gifts of power are for edification. The devil tempted the Messiah to break his fast by using his power to get food supernaturally, but he rejected the temptation. We learn that the devil will approach us when we are at our weakest in health or in need of food and water. And the gifts of power from Yahuwah are not given for the purpose to entertain the wicked or to be a show off with a look, what I can do attitude, or to be used at the commandment of the wicked. The gifts of power are given to edify the people of God. And fasting is a religious, faith-based practice through which one can concentrate on the Word or the Bible and get closer to the Creator God. The death and suicide temptation, ban equals no child. Matthew 4:5-7. Then the devil taketh him up into the city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the ban of Yahuwah, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahuwah said unto him, it is written again, or excuse me, Yeshua. Does that say Yeshua? Jesus said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt God, the Lord thy God. And it says the life of mankind is valuable. The devil tried to get the Messiah to tempt, try, or test the Creator, God. And perhaps it was ever an attempt to get him to commit suicide by jumping off a high pinnacle of the temple, which in turn could have cast the death of someone on the ground below. True believers should not deliberately put themselves or others in danger simply to demonstrate the Creator will save them. The pinnacle of the temple, tempt, try, and test, was a faith-based test in suicide and death. Some targeted individuals believe that one purpose of the targeted individual experimentation is to get targeted individuals to commit suicide and or cause the death of others. And it says the richest and worship temptation. Matthew 4, 8 through 11. Again, the devil taketh him up an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, which he's saying. He's saying, get thee behind me, Satan. Thou shalt worship God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then one devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So it's tempted in false worship and temporary riches. The devil tempted, tried, tested the Messiah with all the kingdoms of the world, and all the kingdoms of the world do temporarily belong to the devil to rule, because Adam and Eve failed their temptation in the Garden of Eden and lost their rule over the earth to the devil. The devil truly had all the kingdoms of the world to give, but the Messiah rejected the offer and refused to bow down and worship the devil. And so Jesus chose the kingdom of God, and all the power of God had to give. So worship is faith-based temptation. And it says the religious faith will be tested. All of the Messiah's temptations by the devil and Pharisees and Sadducees were religious faith-based temptations. There is no getting around the fact that the word Bible teaches that one area that the mankind will be tempted, tried, and tested in by the devil and his followers in these last days is in the area of religious faith. Even the atheist who thinks of himself or herself as not having a religious faith will not escape. So, anything you want to say about that there, Ian?
Yeah, it's like you covered it a while ago, like when you were saying stuff. It's like, with the gang stalkers, are they hunt people like the Pharisees, or are they hunted Jesus? Anyone who's like going through the gang stalking, going through the targeted individual lifestyle, the best thing for them to do would be to learn to hunt.
There you
Understand the motivations of the people hunting you, how they act. Learn how to do it, so it's like then you can turn it around.
Let the hunter become the hunted. Let the hunted become the hunter. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's like sometimes I do bow hunting, and it's like when you have that type of mindset and someone tries following you, you know exactly what to do. It's like, because how like the person who tracks like the animal thinks, because they're using the same type of techniques, it's like slightly different. Because it's like, instead of like following like a trail of blood to where the animal is, they're following like footprints, footage, like off cameras. Because these gang stalkers, they never work alone. There's always about a minimum of 6 of them in each operation at one time.
There you go. Bob, I'm looking over here in chat, and the words that this person was using in this, she had put down all the coordinates, locations. Yeah, let me see here. Go back over here. Am I able to copy and paste this over to chat?
You should be able to.
I'm looking. I'm trying here. Let me see if I can do it. Let's see. Paste. Copy. Okay. Let me see if I can get this over here in the chat, Bob, and you can so you can see that for yourself. Hopefully, I'm doing what you were asking. Okay. Here's the website I'm reading from, Bob. If you want to check that out, hon. No, it's she has all the Strong's Concordance locations for all these things that I'm reading. I hope that helps. Okay. So, let me get back up here. Okay. So it says here the required worship, required to worship the image of the beast, and that's Revelation 13:11 and 15 through 17. It says 11, and I behold another beast coming up of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he had power to give up unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should not speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no man might buy, sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, I recall I was listening to Robbie Robb, and he was saying that he couldn't find anywhere in the New Testament that said anything about the mark, that it was all in the Old Testament. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. But I believe it's right here talking about it in Revelation 15. So I don't know. Maybe I'm confused as to what he was saying. But it says, who will we worship? The time is coming when the mankind will have to choose to receive or reject the mark, number, or name of the beast, and the combination of kingdoms of the New World Order in the right hand or forehead in exchange for the ability to buy and sell. And you know, before I finish reading this up, they're preparing us for that right now. The people who haven't already accepted chips into their body, anybody who has a credit card, we've got chips in our cards now. You know, instead of us swiping the machine with the regular way, we have to stick it in where they can read the chip. You know, just saying. It says, who we worship is a faith-based matter. It is an important part of the New World Order. It's Babel, or Babylon, is a city. Revelation 14:8. And there followed another angel saying, Babel, or Babylon, is fallen, the great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Revelation 18:10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. The harlot named Babel, or Babylon, is one specific city on the earth that spreads her fornication to the nations. Wine is a symbolic of blood, and the nations fornicate with Babel, or Babylon. The fornication of Babel, or Babylon, and the nations that fornicate with her is as follows. They participate in murder. They participate in confusion, perversion, pollution, profanation, and harlotry, sexual sin in the flesh, and sexual sin in the religious faith. They participate in abominations. They participate in wrath, which motivates them to kill. So how can a city fornicate in religious faith? A city can fornicate in religious faith when it is a city that has multiple religious faiths among the people within it. The interfaith dialogue doctrine is a doctrine of fornication. The doctrine called freedom of religion in the Constitution is a doctrine of fornication. There will be no freedom of religion in the kingdom of Yahuwah, or God. The wrath of fornication is terror. Be aware that Babel, or Babylon, is described as the city that has wrath or anger, but in the Arbori language, her wrath transliterates to a city that uses terror in her wrath as follows. This is W rat H equals rat, at. Okay. Terror, fear, trembling. It says the at can be considered a suffix and not part of the root word rat. The city named Babel or Babylon is full of wrath, and she uses terror tactics against the people of God and against all of the world. The wrath of her fornication is war. Be aware that Babel or Babylon is described as a city that makes war against the people of God. The war is found in her wrath as follows. And it shows, the WR and then F, WR,
Yeah.
war. A fill-in vowel letter A is inserted between the consonants W and R. What were you saying?
Yeah, thinking about that, doesn't that remind you of like Europe even more?
Reminds me of the country I'm sitting in, but United
Yeah,
States.
when,
United States is a mini England, so we're under England.
from what I've seen though of Europe at the moment over like the last few years, they have like the wrath and the terror because it's like they burn down Christian churches. Anywhere that like speaks about God, they burn down.
Well,
They're killing people in the streets all over Europe all the time with the terror attacks. Then they've got like rape gangs and everything going around.
that's horrible. And see, we don't hear, we hear about that.
Babylon.
They keep that stuff from us, because I haven't heard of any of this stuff there, except for when you share it with me.
Yeah, it's all hidden. It's like the yellow vests. That's been going on for near enough a year now. Their protests, and they only reported it in the media for a few weeks.
Right.
Then they started shutting down all like the YouTube channels, what were showing the footage as well, and the Facebook groups and the Twitter accounts.
It's still going on because I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen people still putting it out there.
Yeah, but they're trying to shut it down. It's trying to be removed. It's like censorship.
Yeah, they're trying to hide the fact that this is still happening.
They're trying to. I know the real reason they're trying to hide it is because they've tried to make like a multicultural ethnic paradise, and what they've got is not a paradise.
Right.
It's a war zone. It's like everyone's against each other.
Well, you can never expect somebody from Islam to want to befriend anybody else in the world. Now, anybody else of any other faith, I don't see a problem. They're peaceful people. But, Islam, sometimes Judaism as well, they can be filled with hate. At least that's my own personal experience, what I've viewed with my own eyes.
Yeah, plus it's like the way they're trying to force it, so everyone's together and like remove all like the origin, the history of like each person there.
Well, yeah.
To make it like.
Go ahead.
To make everyone the same, it's like they're not making everyone the same, they're cutting people out.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard when they were trying to invent Islam. How are you going to try to merge Christianity and Islam? You can't take a warring religion or government-based faith and merge it with a peaceful people. It would never.
Yeah, and it's like there are rules to like being a Christian. It's like in the Bible, if you follow Christ, you got to follow them rules.
That's right.
And then you get all these like different organizations of like organized religion trying to add their own rules as well.
Yeah.
And trying to turn it into an abomination.
I really.
And the EU's right there with the Vatican celebrating the abomination. They're like, yeah, it's great. Celebrate it. Here, have some abomination rainbow flags.
I rue the day when they try to merge, a Quran with the Bible.
Well, on that day, I'll be having a bonfire.
Amen. Amen. I feel the same way.
It's like some things have got to be left the way they are.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it says here.
It's like,
Go ahead.
think about it, what they're trying to do, where it's like they're trying to merge like Christianity and Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just making more like division. Because you just have people that believe in Jesus that will have no part in it. Then you'll have Muslims that will have no part in it. And then you'll have the people in the middle, making a third group.
Those will be the ones that get beheaded.
Yeah. And you know what they'll do when they invent Chrislam? They'll be Chrislam is a religion of peace. Anyone who answers back is like a Satanist, a terrorist, and all that.
Uh-huh.
Hey guys.
Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, the only truth that the Quran does speak about Jesus,
Yeah, but
but the only
Yeah, but it's not.
they
the
call
only
him
truth,
a
the
prophet,
Quran is
and they say
bad.
he's
Don't get
a
me.
liar.
Yeah, the Quran is bad, but the only truth that the Quran speaks about Jesus on is that Jesus was born from the virgin birth of Mary.
No,
That,
no, no. It doesn't say he was
No,
born.
it doesn't say
No,
that.
no, it says Mary was a
oh,
whore. It says she was a whore. It says no. The
oh,
Quran does
really?
the Quran does not say it was a virgin birth. No, sir.
It doesn't say virgin birth.
No.
Good.
Okay,
The
because
Quran says Mary was like a whore to the Roman soldiers.
yeah, I do know that the Quran says that Jesus was born out of Mary. That I do know.
Yep.
But the Quran is blaspheming, saying that
Abs-
Mary was born out of Mary being a whore.
that's right. And it
Yeah.
also says that when Jesus returns, he will be their Mahdi. He will be the king of vengeance and wrath, which is going to be the Antichrist. That's who the Islam
Well,
is saying.
Jesus will be the revengeance of
He,
wrath to the
he won't
wicked, but
be their
that'll
Mahdi.
be to the wicked.
Yeah, but he's doing it for Islam, is what they're saying.
Oh, yeah,
Floyd,
that's not true. Yeah,
I'm just going to quickly point something out here, and it's like everyone like in the chat. Yeah, this is
yeah,
important when
brother.
it comes to the Quran.
Yeah,
There is a verse in there, and it's speaking about the
they're called
so-called
siras. They're called siras,
Floyd.
brother.
Floyd, shh, just listen a
Yeah,
minute. Yeah, it's talking about Allah. They're like fallen angel, false god.
yeah,
And I'm going to say why I say it's like a false god. First of all, because Allah's prophet Muhammad, Allah prayed for his prophet. It's like Allah and
yeah.
his angels to pray for the prophet Muhammad. What sort of God prays for anyone? What sort of God needs to pray? If you're the God Almighty, you don't pray. You just click your fingers and it happens.
Exactly. A real God, which
So it's
is
like,
Yahweh,
therefore,
Father.
it's like in their own religious texts, it's already proven themselves that it's like a false religion. It's not even a religion; it's a suicide cult with like a ideology background. It's like a
Oh, yeah.
political belief more than a religion. It doesn't have any spirituality. It's got verses in there. It's like Muhammad. He was pissed off because his donkey couldn't carry everything, so he whipped the donkey to death in a ditch. What sort of
Oh, yeah.
prophet is that? That's no prophet. That's some satanic sick nut job.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like everywhere you look in the Quran, it celebrates abomination.
Yeah. And the Quran also teaches that Muhammad married how old was the girl?
6-year-old.
A 6-year-old. Yeah, that Muhammad Ali married a 6-year-old and molested her and yeah, all that sick, twisted stuff.
Yeah, it was a 6-year-old called Aisha, and the sickest thing is, it's like on Muhammad's wedding
Aisha.
night,
Yeah.
Aisha's father held Aisha down for the prophet, for the false prophet to have his way.
Aisha was her name?
And,
Wow.
yeah, and
Poor
it's like,
Aisha. I feel bad for her, truth be told. No 6-year-old should be molested. Nobody
no.
should be molested. It's sickening and it's wrong.
And they use excuses for that. Like now they say, "Oh, it was a different time back then." Well, it wasn't that different. People knew that that was wrong back then as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like this thing
Molesting is
worldwide, what varies, called the age of consent.
Yep, molesting is molesting,
Even at the
no matter
time,
what.
that didn't fall into the age of consent back then.
Yeah. Or
Because if you
is
look into it,
hey brother, is the government thinking of mixing the Quran with the Bible? Are they actually
yeah,
thinking about that? Oh,
yeah,
God forbid. I
the
agree
Pope
with
with
you
his
and Honey
satanic
Ann.
fish hat has been trying to do that for a while now.
I agree with you both. I agree with you and Honey Ann. Make a bonfire. Get ready to do a bonfire. I agree.
Yeah, we'll
Burn
have a
all
hog roast
those.
while we're at it.
Yeah, burn all those evil satanic books as well with the Harry Potter books.
Yeah,
Burn
there's
all of
also
it.
another load of satanic books we could throw on there. We could throw on there like Lord of the Rings, because that's like celebrating wizardry.
Yeah,
Yeah, stuff
definitely.
like that. Then there's all those sick books from the like alphabet abominations. What need burning?
Yeah.
Because like, look at it. It's like they're no different. The brainwashing kids, what don't even know what they want to be when they grow up. It's like the kids they're asking,
Yeah.
are like 4 or
Exactly.
5. Yeah, they're like, do you want to be a man or a woman? And like kids
Oh,
that small, they
oh,
don't even know what's going on. They're like, I want to be
Better
Superman,
yet.
I want to be Spider-Man, I want to be Batman, thinking it's like dress up, and then it's
Yeah.
like they start putting these kids like on drugs, you know, to change their genders
Exactly.
before
Oh,
they
and
even
also
reach
this.
puberty.
Also, this burn all the satanic NASA crap. Burn all that too.
Well, most of it. Some of that stuff needs to be looked at first.
Yeah. I say
You've got
burn all of it because I'm anti-NASA that bad. I'm very anti. I call them NASSholes.
no, look at what
Uh,
NASA stands for. It's no actual science, assholes.
Oh, and also NASA stands for liar and deceiver in Hebrew. Liar is liar and deceiver in Hebrew. NASA.
It also
That's
says
liar and
remember
deceiver.
and shit anytime.
And
Well,
ask yourself, why does
they're
the
named after
Vatican?
liar. NASA's named after liar and deceiver in Hebrew language.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just think about this. The Vatican, they've got an observatory with the Lucifer telescope.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's,
Well, there
yeah, if
you
they're
have
people
it.
of God, why are they calling anything after Lucifer?
Anybody who
If
believes the
God
Earth is a
called after
globe, I'm
Lucifer, it would
praying.
be a toilet brush.
I'm gonna say this: anybody who believes the Earth is a globe, I'm praying for them because the Earth is not a globe. I'm sorry.
Hey, Floyd. Go-Kart Bob had asked you, Floyd. He said, Floyd, please give me one verse that has H3442 in it.
H3442 is the name of Jesus translated to translated to Yeshua in the Bible. So that's all of the scriptures that says the name Jesus. There's your answer.
Okay. Did you hear that, Bob? Okay. All right. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, it's also if you go on like those Bible websites, you know, it's like got loads of different versions of the Bible together. So you get
Yep.
King James, like New International, God's Words translation, the Tyndale, the Wycliffe. Yeah, if you look through them, you'll see it's like a different in each version.
But it's the same meaning. It's the same word, just different letters and different numbers for the concordance.
Well,
But
the
it's
way,
still the same word. It's still
what
the
I
same
stand,
word.
the way I stand on all this is, you say whatever you want to say, however you want to pronounce it. But in our Bibles, our translation is Jesus and God. So sometimes you'll
Yep.
hear me say Yeshua or Yahuwah, but pretty much because I was
I
taught Jesus.
say Yeshua. I say Yeshua and Yahuwah. It's the same thing.
Yeah, or some people say Yahushua.
Yahushua, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the pronunciation. But
Or in Israel, you know what the people in Israel call Yeshua? They say Yeshua. They say it fast.
yeah, Yeshua. It's Yeshua.
Yeshua. Yeshua.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeshua. Yeshua.
In Spanish, they call him Jesus Cristo, which is Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christos. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Jesus Christos.
yeah,
Yeah.
every tongue and every language has their own translation. And
Yep.
for me, I was given my entire life. His name is Jesus, so he's Jesus. Now, I was trying when I was reading that article to go back over and say Jesus instead of Yeshua and Yahuwah, but it did come out sometimes. The way I was reading.
I call him Jesus and Yahuwah. That's
Yeah.
what I call him.
Jesus is
Or Yeshua. I call Jesus Yeshua or Jesus. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, I mean, Jesus even said in the Bible that no one knows the true name of his Father.
Of his father, though, yeah. We know the true name of Jesus, but we don't know the true name of God. That's
Right.
very
I
true.
mean,
That's for a reason.
God does have many, because you can't blaspheme him, but
No, he can't.
some people call God Adonai, some people call him the great I am, some people call him
Adonai, yeah.
El.
Adonai Elohim. Adonai Elohim.
El. I mean, there's so many names for God, but I think truly, if we just, when we're praying, when we say God, He
Well,
knows.
there's also Yehovah.
Abba Father, Abba.
There's also Yehovah too.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yehovah, Jehovah.
Jehovah. I don't do Jehovah.
Yes.
That's not
Yeah,
the name.
that's another Hebrew name for God, Yehovah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, I don't use
Just looking at this subject here. How are they going to make this work with the Chrislam thing? Because if you look at all the names of Allah, they've got it on this wall. And I looked at it, and it's got Baal on there. It's got like Satan,
Hmm.
just like I'm saying.
Okay, Bob says the definition for Jesus is not 3442.
It says on the internet. It says on Google.
Hmm. Is that in the Strong's Concordance, I wonder?
Yeah, I typed in Strong's Concordance name for Jesus in Google, and it said H3 H4332. That's what it said.
H.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Okay. Yeah, he is dyslexic, Bob, so he said it backwards, hon. It's H.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic.
It's H4332, Bob. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that, brother Bob. I'm very dyslexic. Please forgive me.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. So yeah.
It's okay, Floyd. It's like I know what dyslexia is like.
Yeah.
I make mistakes as well.
Yeah, but so is my husband.
Yeah.
So is my husband. It gets frustrating sometimes, but now my brain works like a dyslexic. I can fully I know y'all because I've lived with one for 30 years. It's 4332. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I just like I say, I don't see how it's possible if they're going to try to merge a peaceful religion with a governing, because Islam is not just religion; it's also government included.
Islam's corrupt, and Islam is full of killers and thieves and robbers and all these rapists who molest children. It's sickening.
There are good, peaceful people who worship, and are Muslims. Okay, there are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's
I'm
like
talking about the Muslim terrorists, not the good people who are
Right.
Muslims. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
Floyd.
Muslim terrorists.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
brother?
you got to remember there's a saying. It's like not all Muslims are monsters, but
Oh,
all
no.
Muslims worship Muhammad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I meet people, I don't judge them because of their religion. I judge them because of who they are. When I meet somebody,
Yeah.
I take in who they are as a person, and then that determines for me whether I want to associate with them or not.
I
But
judge people by their actions. It's like they might be misguided. They might have been raised that way and know no better.
that's right.
So you judge them by their actions, not like the religion. It's like the same with atheists.
It depends on who they are as people,
Yeah.
That's like with atheists, they don't believe in anything.
Bob, you're
So
funny.
it's like,
Go-Kart Bob said, I'm dyslexic too, LOL, but that's not what makes me look up the meaning of Bible words. Right on, Go-Kart Bob.
Love you, brother Go-Kart Bob.
In this case,
Good to have you in here, brother.
curiosity did not kill the cat.
That's funny. I love all you guys in the chat room.
Yeah. We've had a good group of people that always come in here. I don't recall ever having more than just one troll. I had one troll, and Chloe was playing with him like a cat and mouse game, and I just said, to heck,
That's what we love. That's what we love about Chloe. That's what we love about her.
I know. Chloe was like, darn, what'd you do that for? I was playing with him. I was like, oh man. All right. If I ever have another troll and you're here, Chloe, I'll leave him to you and let you play with him.
Oh, and leave him to me too. Leave him to me too. Definitely.
that's not if I don't get to them first. I'll
And
explore.
And leave him to Therian. Oh,
Well,
definitely leave. Honey Ann, truth be told, definitely leave him to Therian. Oh, yes.
You guys are always too busy in the stream, you aren't really dealing with chat that much, and when I'm reading, I can't very well look at chat when I'm doing all that reading, and a lot of times I can put massive amounts, like right now.
What's funny? You know what's funny about trolls? They always think they're right. They're always self-righteous. They always say they're better than you, and they act like it.
Trolls live under bridges. Trolls live under
I'm
bridges.
just going to point something out here.
Yeah, brother.
Because like when I go on Facebook, you know what I'm like, honestly. I'm lucky if I'm on there without getting I'm lucky if I'm on there 20 minutes without getting banned for trolling like trolls. And sometimes when I'm trolling, I know I'm not even making any sense. I'm just doing it to wind the person up. That's the whole point. You don't have to tell the truth. You don't have to be honest about anything. You're just doing it
Oh,
to
that's
piss.
funny.
That's all trolling is. And you're using like satire, sick jokes, offensive jokes. Be as offensive as possible if you want to get your point across. Especially
funny.
if it's like politicians you're trolling.
Yeah.
I've never trolled.
Which reminds me, Sarah Champion got back into office in the UK, so I need to troll her again.
That's hilarious.
Well, think about it. She deserves to be trolled. She was the one who was in charge of like Rotherham on the council, who covered up all the paedophiles.
Yeah. Oh, that's
She
sick.
deserves it.
That's
Yeah,
sickening.
she deserves it for that, and she's like still representing the same party. She should have had the honour to retire. It's like if she didn't know anything about it, she should have retired straight away and said, "I've like failed this town," and just like quit,
Yeah.
like a decent person would. But because she didn't, she's going to get trolled from me to the end of time, as long as she's in that position. And it don't matter how many times I get blocked off Facebook, how many false accounts I have to do. I'm going to like do that just till she tells the truth.
I've
Yeah.
never trolled. I'm too sweet to troll.
The last time I put serious effort into it, about a week later, she actually went into the House of Parliament and started speaking about the issue what she'd been quiet on, which I'd been trolling her about, which was the Rotherham scandal. And they moved her to the back of her party.
Yeah.
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 Well, I'm
And
going to be
she does
honest.
this
I would
shit
not
on
want to be. I would not want to be pedophiles on Judgment Day from God, Yahuwah the Father. No, no, no. That would be. I would not want to be a part of them. No.
The way they are, they're an abomination and they need to be exterminated.
Yeah, they
But
do.
people like,
Hey, pedophiles should be lucky that they're not in the ancient days anymore. In the ancient days, you would have had permission to stone them to death.
But you know,
They
it's just
should be
a darn shame,
grateful.
though. It's a darn shame
Guys,
when a good person
they-
develops conscience.
Pedophiles, all
move to the back of the
pedophiles. Yeah, all pedophiles should be grateful that they're not in the Stone Ages anymore, man.
Yeah,
They would have been stoned. They would have been stoned to death back then, in the days of Jesus.
Absolutely.
Floyd, the thing is, their type of sickness, there's only one cure for it, and it's called a
Yeah.
rope around the neck and then hang them till the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When it comes down to it, it's like if I had kids and I caught one of them going after my kids,
yeah,
Okay.
using a rope, that would be too much of a mercy for what I would do.
yeah.
And I wouldn't care about the consequences because it'd be like one less of them on the planet.
Go-kart Bob, are you referring to the English spoken Bible actually using the word Yahuwah or Yeshua? That's what I'm wondering right now, because the English spoken Bible is going to be transliterated in English, so it's not going to say Yahuwah or Yeshua. It's going
Exactly.
to say Jesus, if that's what you're getting at.
If you want to go to the oldest Bible ever, the first Bible ever made, that would be the Aramaic Bible. That is the first translation of the oldest Bible text, and it says Yeshua in the English text.
Yeah, and the Aramaic Bible is a very good Bible. It's not.
It is.
It's an Arab Bible, like some people actually think. But
It's not meaning Arab as in the Arabs. No, Arab was an old word before Arabs even came around.
Yeah. But now my favorite version of the Bible is the Septuagint because it's more poetic. You know, it's just to me, it's just lovely.
My favorite translation of the Bible would be the Aramaic Bible in plain English or the complete Jewish Bible.
And now, Go-Kart Bob, you can go to I think it's the Blue Letter Bible. Go to Blue Letter Bible on the internet or eSword. And what's that other translator? I mean, the other Bible one that has this red and gold. What's the name of that website? There's like 3 websites that I know of you can go to and look up the Aramaic Bible. And
There's also Bible Hub.
That's
also Bible Hub.
Bible
And
Hub.
there's also an app called YouVersion that you can download onto your phone from the Play Store, and you can get a lot of Bible
you can do. It's like if you just type in free Bible, you'll find a ton of sites that vary from country to country which order they're going to come up with.
Yeah.
But there's always like 3 or 4 charities for every country that offers a free Bible just by filling in like a little survey, a little questionnaire, and putting an address.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if he wants to look up what Floyd's saying, so Floyd can be back, by what he's saying. You can go to like the Blue Letter Bible or Bible Hub or eSword, and you can easily type in. You can easily type in the Aramaic Bible, and it'll pop up, and then you can see where it says Yeshua or Yahuwah or whatever.
Yep. And the Aramaic Bible, it's in fact the oldest Bible. That's the oldest Bible that you'll ever look up. It's older than the Tyndale, folks. It's older than the King James, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to point out I don't have like a favourite Bible because there's no copy of the Bible with all the information in I want to see.
Yeah. Well, for me,
and everybody?
It don't include Enoch, the Apocrypha.
Yes.
Meh.
Thank you, Brother Thurn. I was just about ready to say that. Everybody also read Enoch and the Apocrypha and Yasher and all these good texts, as well as actually the Bible, guys. That's actually the real truth. It is actually the Bible that the Catholics took out on purpose.
Well, I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that nobody has done a compilation, a Bible with a compilation of all of the apocryphal and the ancient, texts that were taken out as well. Because in the ancient text, the Gospel of Thomas was still included.
Shh! Stop giving people my plans. That's what I'm doing.
Sister, I've done a few Apocrypha studies. I was doing Apocrypha studies on the, let's see. I'm going to do an Apocrypha study on the real last book of the Bible, the Testament of Benjamin, soon. I'm studying that book right now. I did a few Apocrypha studies with the prophet Baruch, one of the sons of King David. I did an Apocrypha study on that. I also did an Apocrypha study on Joseph. Yes, guys, in fact, this is a real fact. The earthly father, Joseph, did in fact write a book for Jesus. Yes, I actually did an Apocrypha study on that book. And I'm, let's see, what other Apocrypha study did I do? I think that's about it. I think that's about it for what I've done for Apocrypha studies.
Lord,
yes, sister.
Wilcart Bob says the word is H, meaning Hebrew. So it should not be in the Old Testament, not New. So he said it should be in the Old Testament, not New Testament.
Jesus is in the New Testament too. The words in red is Jesus speaking in the New Testament.
He said the word is H, which means Hebrew. So it should.
Oh yeah, Hebrew is Old Testament. Yes, Greek is the New.
It should be in the Old Testament, not the New Testament.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But you said
the two actually the real first language of the Bible was Aramaic. Then it went to Hebrew.
What he's
Greek
saying is, you said something about translation, and it had H4332, but H means Hebrew. So he's saying that what he's saying here is that I don't know. Never mind. He's saying
in Hebrew the name Jesus is Yeshua.
So it should be in the Old Testament, not the New Testament. H is Hebrew for Old Testament.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a perfect sense right there, definitely.
I don't know. I hadn't been following checks. I've been reading.
But then if that's the case, then Jesus is not the name of the Lord then, because if it's saying H for Hebrew, which is Yeshua.
I don't know.
Then where does the name Jesus come from?
That's between you and Bob. I'll let y'all handle that one. Yeah,
that's a good question I want to add. Like, where does the name Jesus come from then?
It's the translation, I guess.
But it's saying in the translation the H for Hebrew, which is Yeshua.
Well, I don't know. All I know is that, Yahshua or Yahshua sounds to me like Joshua.
Yeah, Yahshua. Yeah. When you translate Yeshua as Joshua to the English, yeah.
Sounds like Joshua, not Jesus, though. What?
Maybe Joshua was the real name of Jesus.
I don't know.
Yeshua, literally, that's what we should have said there. The truth is, Yeshua does translate to Joshua. That is true.
Well, all I can say is that I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm just a Bible studier.
I'm going to study that more. I'm going to study that more and get the truth. Definitely.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to go back over here to where I was. The 10 kings will burn her with fire. Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. And there are those who teach that Babel or Babylon is the country of America. But the word Bible makes it clear that the harlot and whore named Babel or Babylon is one city that will suffer a special plague administered by the 10 horns or kings. They are going to burn that city whore with fire because she is guilty of the murder of the people of God and all on the earth. So the conclusion is Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues. There is only one faith. Anything else outside of the one faith represents the religious faith and practices of the city named Babel or Babylon. The people of God are commanded to come out of her sins. And this is the end of part 5. So that's it. Take heed. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all for tonight.
Hey, Therian, brother, you'll agree with me on this. Babylon is not America. America is the daughter of Babylon. Europe is the real Babylon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yep. Europe is the real Babylon. We are not Babylon because we're Israelites of God. We, the Israelites of God, are stuck in the daughter of Babylon.
Floyd,
Yeah.
Part Bob said, Floyd said God's name is H3442. I'm asking for scripture example.
I didn't say that God's name is H3442. I'm saying God's name is Yeshua or Yahuwah or Yahweh Shai or Jesus. That's what I said God's name was. And that there's no other gods to serve but him.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay. Because he said I'm not understanding.
The proof is in the pudding. It's in the comment room.
Elizabeth
chat
Powell,
room.
thank you for your comment. Yeshua means salvation, welfare, well-being, I believe she said.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
You get salvation by the blood of Yeshua. Eternal
Yes.
salvation if you believe it in him, yeah.
I've noticed, like, with different websites, they'll use different numbers for different words.
What are you doing? Get in here. You're going to get in trouble. Talking to my cat. Sorry. Talking to this little girl.
Thank you, Sister Elizabeth. Thank you.
Speaking of this little girl right here, is she trying to get in trouble?
That's a cute kitty cat.
Cupcake. She's named after Candy Cupcakes.
How cute.
Yeah. Because
I hope she's doing good.
She is.
That's good.
She's still around. She had a cat that she named Honey, but Honey died.
Named after you now. That's funny.
The cupcakes didn't die. I loved my baby. I'm not saying she didn't love hers, but I'm just saying I babied these guys. Kept them under my wing here. So they're just fine. Hello. So anybody else got anything else to add? Because like I said, I just saying that
thank you very much, Sister Elizabeth. Exactly. That's what Yeshua means. Yes.
I mean, we're no closer to solving the Mandela effect than we are solving why people are targeted individuals, you know?
I'm one myself. I think Therian's one too. And you are too, honey. All three of us are targeted, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in the chat room is also.
Well,
You've seen the type of stuff I've been through.
Yeah.
Go ahead and reveal some of that, because I did mine whenever I first opened the stream. Joseph?
Yeah, it's like I've been gang stalked, I've had my house broken into. The only reason they stopped breaking into my house is because I don't give a shit about their life, so I will fire arrows at them. And
Yeah.
last time they broke in, that was like the one and only time I was ever going to fire a warning arrow. And I shouted, next time it's going in the head and it's not going to be a warning arrow.
Yeah.
It's like, and so people understand it's like I can't fire a warning arrow anymore if I wanted to because I've like got no bullet tip arrows left. I've only got the fancy broadhead ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely praying for you, brother.
Yeah,
I'm
I've had it where
definitely
they're
praying.
like, they've
I'm
tried to
praying
follow
for
you
all of us.
places.
Yeah. I'm praying for all of us, man. All of us, the body of Christ, who are targeted individuals. We're going through a lot, man. We are really going through a lot.
Yeah, I've had them actually pull up vehicles on my front drive with Wi-Fi jammers and being sitting there in the vehicles in balaclavas.
Yeah.
But they've learnt to stop doing that, seeing as I've got a thing, it's like I don't drive. Anyone parks on my drive, don't expect your car to be safe. Because if I
Yeah.
see a car in my drive, I'm likely to throw a brick at it before I say anything. And it's like, I've had them trying to terrorise me, make my life a misery. But I've got to a point where it's like, if they want a neighbour from hell type thing, that's what they're going to have.
What?
Yeah, it's like they've tried, like, they think it's like, if they throw trash on my garden, I'm going to waste my time cleaning it up. I'm
No.
like, hell no, that's just an excuse for me to
I
stop
wouldn't.
putting bins out. I just tip them out. I throw food for the rats. Because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, if they want that type of atmosphere, they can have it.
Definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't waste
Anyway,
my
it's
time picking
like,
up after them either. Like, it's their mess, not yours.
yeah, they thought they could target me by throwing dead animals. I left the dead animals there, and it's like I called the police. They wouldn't move them. They
Yeah.
said like environmental rights telling me I've got to move them. I just turned around and said, "Fuck off! I ain't doing anything."
Yeah. I would do the
I
same
put 'em
thing,
there.
brother.
I didn't put them there. It's not my trash and stuff. So I'm not even touching it. And it's like when I got broken into.
Yeah. Yeah, I
There's
would do
actually
the
evidence
same
on the
thing
garden,
if I
and the
was.
police ignored it.
Yeah, if I was in your situation, brother, I would do the same thing. I would tell them to fuck off and that they need to pick up after themselves. I'm not going to pick up after their own messes.
Yeah, and they tried spreading rumors about me. So I'd like neighbours,
Forgive me for my language.
but don't even
Yeah.
know me. Trying to
Yeah.
give me bullshit. So now it's like if I'm walking back, I'm drunk. I'll go in the local shop, I'll buy a load of Budweisers because they're in glass bottles. I'll walk along and I'll just throw the empty bottles under cars. So it's like, yeah, fuck the neighbourhood. If they're going to treat me like that, I'll do it back to them 10 times worse. I used to live in
Yeah.
Liverpool. I know how to do
Yeah.
a bit of Scouse mechanics on any car. And you know what Scouse mechanics is? You replace all four wheels with bricks.
Oh, wow.
And then you have a barbecue.
Toasted
It's like
car.
Yeah, it's like people have a limit, you know, to how far they can be pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I passed that limit around 6 months ago to how I feel towards the English. I used to have pride in England and the UK. I used to think, yeah, I live here, so I'm going to try and make the best of it. Yeah, now I don't have that feeling. It's like I don't even have respect for them. I just look at them like the vermin because it's like they've proven themselves that way every time. Every time I've tried giving them chance after chance after chance to set, I've been like, yeah, I'm going to see someone do like an act of kindness. Then I look at it and it's like, that's not what you see from the English. You don't see any good in this country. It's like God's turned his back on the UK.
Yeah, he did. And God is also turning his back with the U.S. too.
Yeah, and that's what happens. It's like you get people and it's like they're so selfish, they're so self-obsessed. They make the world into a shithole.
The Lord basically the Lord Yeshua basically turned away from the whole world. Basically. And he's just going to do his judgment day when God the Father, Abba the Father, gives him the command to do.
No, it's like God didn't turn his back on the world, Floyd. He turned his back on the sinners.
That makes sense, yeah. He's not going to turn his back against us. Yeah, he's not going to turn his back against his own people. That's true.
Yeah, it's like as long as you follow God's commandments,
Yeah,
you're gonna have a better time.
that's so true. That's very true.
But it's like
You're gonna
I've noticed as well,
suffer.
since
Yeah,
doing
you're gonna.
certain things, the targeting's gone down. It's like I went into the local church and I saw they had the rainbow flag there. They had Muslim coffee mornings.
Oh wow.
And I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, passing the collection plate. I just got this feeling, and I just stood up, smacked the collection plate in the air, and said, "This fucking is no church of God. It is no house of God. It is an abomination, and I denounce
I
thee."
think it's Bruce O'Malley. Woo!
Yeah.
Is that Bruce? What's
Hey,
up, Bruce?
I
hey,
was like, Jesus, at that moment, I was like, not in my father's house.
Yeah,
Hi,
definitely.
Bruce.
it's not your father's house. Then whose house is it? The goddess Isis woman. The mother,
Yeah.
her son.
Islam is very corrupt. That religion needs to end.
Well, when you think about Lucifer, you think about Lucifer, which takes you back to the Vesica Pisces. This
Yeah.
thing,
I think all organised religion needs to end because it's like the organised religion is where you get all the propaganda and the perversions.
Definitely. And the fake things. And also sort of the once saved, always saved fake crap, which is a fake doctrine, not a real
well, the Bible
doctrine.
does say that now.
Oh,
The Bible does.
oh, if you
Yeah.
drink alcohol and have sex under marriage and cheat on your wife, oh, it's all okay. You're a good person. Get a pat
Another
on
thing
the back.
is, how can any organised religion have a church where it's got a collection plate
Yeah,
and then refuse to let homeless people in and refuse to help homeless people and then saying they're good? How can they do that? They can't. It's
they
like,
can't. A
it's
bad person
hypocrisy.
is a
It's
bad
like
person.
you're supposed to help people up, not push them down. And
Floyd,
that's all I've seen from everywhere in the UK when it comes to churches. The
Floyd?
Church of England is
Yes,
one of the
sister?
worst.
Churches are just a tax scam.
Yeah.
Floyd, I must say, Go Kart Bob said to tell Floyd the Hebrew word he used, 3442, means Yeshua, not God. It means Jesus.
It means Jesus. Yeshua is Jesus.
Yeah, he said Jesus, not God. I think you accidentally put God.
Jesus is God.
Well, Jesus is a separate entity from God. Jesus was God in the flesh, but Jesus is the Son of God who sits at the right side of God's throne.
Well, my Bible tells me Jesus is God and that Jesus will be judged on the throne on Judgment Day as God.
But Jesus is God made flesh, but he's the Son of God.
He is
Any
the Son of God. That's true. That's true.
Floyd, think about it this way.
Hey, what was Bruce going to say? Bruce was going to say something. What'd you say, Bruce?
Well, you're just reading something which is written from a book, what somebody's written. So, King James at the time, he didn't want to chop off his wife's head, so he wanted to, say it that you can bring out a piece of paper and get divorced from your wife instead of like in the
Yeah.
old they had to chop off their head or put. These days they put them in a mental asylum or rest home or this and that. Put them out of the picture.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it's a greedy and egotistic world full of people who are just psychopaths and they just want to manipulate and control everyone. And religion is one of their tools. And churches are just a big tax dodge.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, they do use religion to control the masses. Absolutely.
Like
They
I
didn't.
have people putting up videos of me. Peanut the other day, Bruce.
Uh-huh.
And because I'm just saying, like, hey, to him, like, I'm happy, if you guys want to be, have something that you have to be saved from, where I have found that I'm part of nature's children, I'm from this earth.
Yep.
And we're just all as one. And what I was saying, if you love yourself and you love everybody else, is you love yourself and creation, what you see around you. Well, if there's not I don't need to be saved from anything,
Well, I accept you for who you are, man. I love you for who you are, brother.
Yeah.
I love all you guys for who you guys are.
Amen.
You guys are my real family.
Think about it, though. It's like people think they've got to be saved. That must mean they've done something wrong and they're subconsciously running from it.
Definitely.
My personality, it's like
I don't cover up stuff I've done. I don't really give a shit. Some of the stuff I brag about because I find it funny.
Me too.
It's all a learning.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
But
it's like
like a construction.
I've asked God for forgiveness for when I've sinned, but when it comes to Judgment Day, I've got no problem with being judged, but God's
Me
going to be
too.
judged by me at the same time. Because I'm going to be like, yeah, you let the devil into the world, you let him do all this, I'm judging you on them scales.
Yeah, but
It's
then,
like that saying, judge lest ye be judged.
What are you saying, Bruce?
Yep.
then you got to see both sides because you're putting the devil into it, so that's the bad. Where Buddha looked at good and bad both actually exist. So in the wording, okay, you go with the wording of God and devil. It's just good and bad. They both exist, but people are just entrenched on Antichrist coming or devil coming. Well, I looked at it as this matrix system, as like a beast system. The governments are corrupt and they lie, and it's just out to line their pockets. The elite.
Well, the
Definitely.
government is the beast, and the devil gave the beast its power. Yeah.
There you go. But we got to get away from thinking that it's like a devil force. It's only people who are just like.
For me, the satanic factions are the old ones, which are the fallen angels. They're the ones ruling this world right now.
Oh yeah. What I believe is the people around you are not people. I believe we're in a Truman Show reality because I've witnessed with my own eyes. I've seen with my own eyes. I've seen strange things. I've seen matrix glitches. Me and Honey and Antherian and Sister Tina, we just witnessed something big like a while ago. Honey Ann's eyes were disappeared from the camera, and there was a face next to Therian. It was so creepy.
Yeah, and I literally watched the whole room digitally erase itself and reprogram itself. And in the process of doing so, I completely lost everything I was saying. It took Darian to literally trigger me to remember even what I was talking about, and that's not me. I mean, I'm not old, and you know, I don't have Alzheimer's disease or anything like that. It's not normal for me just to be in the middle of a sentence and then forget what I'm saying completely, just go blank.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
But
Yeah,
wasn't
I
that,
definitely. Oh,
so
sorry, brother.
it was like near enough a whole day's worth of memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that we are in a Truman Show reality, and the people around you, they're not people, they're devils, and they like to screw up your life and mess up your life for you.
I don't know what's going on, but I know that whatever's taking place, it's taken place in the last 7 years or so, 8 years or so, and and nothing is as it was, and nor will it ever be again.
Yeah. What's amazing is us, the body of Christ, have a similar testimony on a lot of things too.
Well, just mankind in general have similar testimony. That's been my experience. You know,
Yeah, same with me. Same here.
Doesn't matter what you believe; it just matters that you are.
Yeah.
Now, I love the Lord, and I love to speak about the Lord. I am a tried and true Bible thumper. But if somebody else comes along and that's not their bag, well, I'm not going to be against them because of it. Just don't be against me because of my love of God. And because I have a love for God, I have a love for Jesus. You know, don't be against me because I love Him or because I speak about Him. You know, that's all I ever ask of people.
The only problem is they do get mad at you when you say the name of Jesus or Yeshua or God or Yahuwah. They get mad at you when you say His name. They get mad at you.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, it's crazy too. It's like you don't get mad at them when they speak what they believe it in, but they get mad at you when you speak what you believe it and what you see through your own eyes. Yeah, they call you delusional. They get onto you.
I think we should all just be free to be, but we should do that walk in respect.
Yeah, we still respect them.
The best version of yourself you can be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because God didn't ask you to hate your neighbor. God asked you to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And that's a big problem I'm seeing in the faith-based community right now. There's a whole lot of hate going on. And that's not
there is.
That's not called for in my book. You know?
Yeah, well, the Bible says, as broad as a gate and narrow is the way, only few that find it.
Well, like I always say, there's a stairway to heaven, but there's a highway to hell.
Yep. By AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Yep.
Well, I'm just saying that makes a lot of sense. You know, there's a stairway to heaven, but there's a whole highway to hell.
Oh, yeah. The
Well,
song Highway to Hell by the band AC/DC. Very satanic song, but true. There is a highway to hell, definitely.
2012, my reality has been hell. You know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Everything's changed for me. Everything.
Well, the Mandela effect is a very real thing. It's like it's waking up a lot of people.
Yeah. What were you saying, Bruce?
Okay, could we see this text of the name God and the devil? Okay, throw that aside.
Okay.
And look at it as the light and the dark,
Yes.
black and the white.
Yeah.
Okay, people were actually seeing like a glow of a black in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at God and God. Well, and what I discovered in the scriptures that the book is God and the devil as one. Okay. He says about Timothy, goes and sees them, blah blah. They are as one. It's like your left hand. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing.
Right.
It's
right.
But within, if you're going to find freedom within, you have to find the reasoning of the left and the right, because of your own thoughts. You'll have a negative thought come in, and then you work it out, and then you see through it. You're only fighting between yourself.
And
So
that's where you find God.
So the black and the white,
Mhm.
you're only doing that yourself. You're pulling it apart. You're trying. Well, in the scriptures, it says like, "Come to the light. I am the light." And then there's the dark is made as the bad. The bad. Well, at night we go to sleep. We close our eyes.
Yeah.
And what do we see? It's just black. Is that bad? That's our body regenerating itself. We're resting. I'm just showing you of a good thing of the dark.
Well, I can tell you this,
It's
Bruce.
your time to sleep.
I can tell you this, Bruce. Jesus said he is the way, the truth, and the life. And he is the light of the world. So even though I'm up at night in the dark, I choose to walk in the light.
Yes. So can you see where I'm coming from and
Yes,
what I found?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that
Yeah.
you're throwing your division
Yes.
away to just go with the light.
Yes.
You have disregarded the dark. And what I've just expressed about going to sleep at night, when you regenerate your body again, you sleep in the dark. There's nothing bad about it. If you didn't do it, your body would just seize up on you. Wouldn't be this human body. You wouldn't be a human being,
Right.
because it rests at night. It rests in the dark, because when you close your eyes, even as day or night, when you close your eyes, it's dark.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go. It's 10:21.
Okay. Well, we'll talk
Yeah.
tomorrow, Floyd. We will catch you tomorrow. We always do.
Yeah. I love you guys. I really love you guys very much. And
This week. Tell your grandpa good night.
thank you, brother. What's your name again, brother? I haven't.
Bruce.
Your go-kart Bob or something, or
That was Bruce. Bruce O'Malley.
okay, Bruce. Okay, nice to see you, Bruce, and
Hey, brother.
I hope the
Floyd.
best for you, brother. Yeah, brother.
What time did you say it was where you are?
It's already 10:22 now. It was 10:20 now. 10:21 now. It turned to 10:22 where I'm at. Yeah. All right. Well, love you guys.
Tell your grandpa I said hi, okay?
Yeah.
Don't sound so sad. We'll see
All
you.
right. Love you guys.
We'll see you tomorrow, hon.
Love you too, brother.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Sweet dreams.
Bye.
Okay. Well, it's amazing he got off of here without getting in trouble tonight.
Yeah, Grandpa yelling at him.
Exactly. Yeah, but I fully understand the aspects. You know what? I fully understand what Bruce's point of view. The problem is a lot of people are not understanding Bruce. They're misunderstanding him, and so so they're like, it's like a witch hunt. It's like a big witch hunt against Bruce, because they're not taking the time to listen to what Bruce is saying. You know,
Well, it's from everybody being programmed. You know, like
Yeah.
we come into this world, you get conditioned. You're into a belief system that you go to school. What is right and wrong? Children in the olden days, they weren't allowed to write with their right hand. They got strapped on that hand. If they used their right hand, they had to. Oh no, I mean sorry, the left hand. They had to use their right hand.
That my husband, they tied my husband's left hand behind his back and made him write with his right hand. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yep.
just things like that. Like that's changing somebody's behaviour of what they're born with. You know, in a self. Your husband was born as a right left-hander, but he's been manipulated and even
Condition.
in a forceful manner as well. And that's what society and everything, all this document and having all these different religions, so many different gods, it's just what creates it all. More and more and more. And all what it's doing is just dividing the people from one another.
Yep. That's all contrived. They've done this on purpose. I absolutely believe that division was made on purpose.
Divide and conquer is one of the best tools.
Sir. Yes, sir. I believe that. They've done it on purpose.
And that's like what's happening with all this the fires and all this and that you see over in Australia. They're having a big drought over there.
Yeah. All the fires. Yeah.
But then again, there's companies would have bought their water out, put big dams in. And that's why it is a drought, because people are damming up the water now and they're selling it overseas.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's all planned too, I'm sure, out of greed, and then, they want us to all fall. There's so much stuff going on in the whole world. I mean, as far as disease and just evil acts, from every place we look, there's opposition and evil things going on. It's just, I don't know. When's it going to stop? The wheel just keeps on spinning. That's how I feel about that. We can bitch and complain all we want, but what are we actually going to be able to do to stop it?
Well, many think they're going to go and have a war, eh?
Yeah. Nobody cares to stop it, Everybody is living in their own world with their heads up their butts. And we can come on here and complain and gripe all we want to, but I don't know how it's going to change anything.
The way to change things is to encourage people to do good things.
Well,
it's like if you see someone, like a homeless person on the street, remember it's winter, so they're going to be freezing their arse off, so you help them out more, especially this time of the year.
give them a blanket, give them a coat. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, give them any old clothes you've got what you don't use.
Yeah.
If it's like coats, before you go put them in a charity box, go look to see if there's any homeless people around what need a coat.
We don't have homeless people in my town. My town is so small. No, there's not one homeless person here. Crazy but true.
That's because I know I've noticed in the States they're being used in loads of different programs, to try and move the homeless people around.
Yeah.
So it's like they'll realize it's cheaper to send them to a different state, a couple of 100 miles away, and put them in a cheap apartment for about a month with the rent and the bills paid up, and just dump them there. Than it is to keep moving them along every day.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen homeless people here where I live, actually. This is too small of a town. It wouldn't do anybody any good to be homeless here. They have to move on to Dallas, And just say,
major cities are where you're going to find the homeless people.
In a way, it's another commodity.
What, Bruce?
Like it's another commodity. You've got homeless people to look after now, as well as refugees, and meaning they look at you as like cattle. So it's not always like helping them in the sense that they just look at it all like a monopoly system and beast system. So homeless people to them now are commodity. they'll go and put them here and there, but they've got their number, they've got their status, they're in their category, they've got a label on them now, the homeless person. You get me that just labelled them, and they're more or less labelling themselves.
Yeah.
But
So,
and I know that it's just greed and this and that why it's like this.
Evil.
Because there's more wealth than what there's
Yeah.
what
Well,
anyone needs.
I'll tell you what, there's no wealth left in the United States. They have literally, the powers that be, they have literally out of greed consumed everything. They have taken everything. There's no gold in Fort Knox. Our pennies aren't made out of copper anymore. Our quarters aren't made out of silver. I mean, they have taken every last ounce of anything that was of value and hidden it all away.
yeah, it's the same in the UK. It's like the pennies, they're not made entirely out of copper. If you get them, put them against a piece of sandpaper, the copper all comes off in a few seconds of just scraping it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't suggest doing that publicly in the UK because it's classed as a crime because it's defacing the Queen.
Yeah.
But sanding off the Queen's face, I say it makes the coin look better. I don't want to see her ugly mug looking at me when I'm looking at me change.
Lizard. The whole lizard lips.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy. That's funny.
You know, they also complain over it when you write on banknotes, you know, like on the paper money.
Uh-huh.
It's not my fault. Churchill and the Queen both look better when they've got a mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not supposed to write on our money either, but I see money written on all the time.
It's like I either write on the money, it's like, I do stupid things, I'm just clumsy with money, like I'll accidentally let it drop in the deep fat fryer or let it drop in the pork grease. I'll be like, oh man, this money's ruined now, it's all dirty, I better hurry up and go spend it.
Halal meat.
I don't want this stinky money in my pocket. Get it away from me, ew.
Oh, man. Lord have mercy. It's something else there. I'll tell you what.
And it's like, I would have a bank account, so I wouldn't have to handle money, but I don't trust the banks, and they won't give me a bank account.
Oh, poor Daryl.
They started giving me loans when I was drunk off my head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's seriously, what type of bank gives someone a loan when they walk in there with like a bottle of Jack Daniels in the hand and they're drunk and they can barely even stand up and they're trying to like withdraw like 10
My
pounds?
kind of bank. My kind of bank. Point me that way. That's my kind of bank. For
Yeah,
real.
that was all before the banking collapse, and it's like, I said, yeah, give me the big load I can if you're going to throw money away. And they went, what do you mean throwing money away? I went, do I look like I'm going to pay this back? And they're like, yeah. They're like, you just keep believing that. You just keep believing that. And they're counting out the money. They even had to move me glass what I was drinking whiskey out of, so they could put the money on the table.
That's crazy. Never heard of anything like that. They wouldn't do that over here. You go in a bank over here like that, they'll have you escorted out by security. Just saying. So, Bruce, have you anything you want to talk about? Anything you've encountered in the last couple of weeks?
No, I've been a bit quiet over this way. Bit of the White Island volcano thing blew up in New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You said that you had a volcano blow up. How far away from where you live?
Like about a couple hundred miles, but White Island,
Uh-huh.
about 16 people died.
Wow. See, I haven't heard anything about it. I don't ever watch the mainstream media. I don't watch anything. So the only information I get is from my YouTube family. So
Yeah.
16 people died. Wow. Did it affect the air over there? Where, the air
I
you
know,
breathe?
like the volcano's always got a bit of smoke here and there, but yeah, had a bit of eruption.
No ash, though?
But now they're looking for someone to blame, but it's the Earth.
Yeah.
You blame me.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
got no idea.
I'm part of nature's children, so come and blame me.
I've got no idea if they want to blame anyone. I blame that Greta kid for all that climate change talk.
Well, it's
If you
not.
just kept your mouth shut, there wouldn't be all this climate change problem.
No, there is no climate change. There's warfare with the weather, eh?
Yeah, it's a psyop.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you the other morning, I went outside and it was so foggy. I mean, it's not really that normal for it to be so foggy here. I couldn't see in front of me. And there was all these little particles that were coming down in the air, and it wasn't moisture. It absolutely was not dust. They looked like orbs almost. And they were like blowing towards my face, but every time they would come real close to me, they would dart, like with intelligence, they would move out of the way and go around me. I put it on my channel. It's just quite bizarre looking. I don't know. That was happening like right before dawn. You know, I'm an avid sky watcher, and there's always so much bizarre crap going on. You know, and I've noticed a lot of chemtrailing at nighttime now. You know, I guess they're trying to hide some of what they're doing because people are catching on to what, you know, what they do in the daytime. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they're even hiding in the sky where I am. Look at that Halloween when we were talking, and it's like it was around midnight here, and then it's like I went through that blackout for about 3 hours. And I'd gone outside. I thought, yeah, there's going to be no light pollution. I should be able to see the sky. I should be able to see the stars, the moon, and all that. I'm looking around, and it's like the sky's all looking white. And it's every direction I'm looking in, and I'm on the side of a hill. I can see for miles, and it's like there's no lights.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. And what about what you and Bruce and I were discussing the other night? You know, about how the skylines all lit up, and how basically, you know, Bruce was saying that there is no more dark, there is no more night. You know?
Yeah, it's like a false sky. It's like being stuck in a dome.
Yeah. That's just bizarre.
Well, that's where you are in the YouTube.
Say that again. What was it you said, Bruce?
Well, it's like a tube, like a dome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This guy put the whole beginning Genesis together, and it's a dome shape, just like that serpent eating itself.
Yeah, the Vesica Pisces. I mean, excuse me, not the Vesica Pisces. The freaking what's it called? I normally know what it's called. The
And we're like living in the belly of the beast.
The Ouroboros. It's the Ouroboros.
Belly of that beast.
Yeah, the Ouroboros is the snake eating its tail. Yeah.
The sky's going white everywhere. The blue they're slowly taking it away.
Yeah.
It's for the backing of the screen.
Yeah. Well, you know, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's going to be like a projection for a screen.
Yeah.
You know how they're saying about alien invasion and this and that hoax? Well, that's a perfect picture now. You can play anything on it.
You got that right.
Just like the spirit coming from the sky. Coming to save them all and beam me up to the beast system. But don't forget to up.
I've noticed a lot lately that, you know, over here in Texas, the sky will be all white looking, you know, and they're constantly spraying stuff to make it white, but they can't, it doesn't hold. You know, a lot of that white will move, and then you can see the real beautiful blue reappear in the background. So it's still there. It's still there. They're just attempting to hide it from us, you know, or cover it. I just think they're trying to cover some kind of planetary body, some kind of a planetary body, some system that's up there along with ours, you know. And, you know, and after all these years of these people, and me being one of them, that spotted that extra moon up in the sky, and then they came up with all these extra moon phases and stuff, and now they've come and they've admitted, and they're saying that, oh yeah, now we have 2 moons. You know, they're saying we have an extra moon in our solar system somehow, some way. Who knows how?
Yeah, and if you look at propaganda they're spreading, then you call it out and you say, hold on, this is all BS. It don't even make sense, like what you're saying, if you add it up with the other stuff you're saying. They label you as a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, and then you're an enemy of the state.
Conspiracy to not have like seen the moon in over like 2-3 months in the sky. How's that like a conspiracy? And they come out with things like it's a grand solar minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, that doesn't explain it. And then they say light pollution, and then I say, yeah, what about when there's that power outage?
Okay, what about global warming when we've got people that clearly monitor the sea and the ocean and have done so since 1920, where the sea levels, the ocean levels are all still the same? If we've got global warming, the ice caps melting, then the ocean levels will be rising now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and look at the amount of records they've got from the 1920s to now, like 100 years worth of data.
Yep.
The amount of time like people have been on this planet and there's evidence of that. That don't even make any sense. It's like starting like a diary, and after living in a house for 10 years, and it's like having that diary go for like 2 days, and then try and base the previous 10 years on that 2 days worth of information from right at the end. You can't do it.
Yeah. Well, and I also see, look, I mean, with all the fracking going on and all the digging underground tunnels and crap, you don't expect the earth to act up because of that. They're digging down way down below the danger levels. Of course, we're going to have volcanoes going off and earthquakes happening everywhere, and sinkholes
opening up.
Yes.
It's like when I was in Blackpool, they were fracking there. They were fracking off like the coast of Fleetwood, and that's miles away from Blackpool town centre. But it was like as soon as they started doing that, there was like mini earthquakes, and sinkholes started opening up. And one of them was like I saw it opened up in the middle of the road, and it was like the size of a double-decker bus, the hole, and it went down around 50 meters.
Yeah.
I couldn't even see the bottom of it.
Well, and I also feel like there's something up in the sky that's literally pulling this earth apart. It's messing with the gravitation, the gravitational, whatever's going on, because why else would the whole ground be cracking like it is, being pulled apart like it is? If that's not the government doing something, there's got to be a heavenly body up there that's doing this.
Yeah, it's like if you get a block of sandstone, make a few holes in it, you start putting frequencies through it, so it's vibrating.
Yeah.
It'll start breaking around or breaking apart on its own.
Yeah. Well,
Every crack will expand.
Well, the ground cracking right here where I am, and the earthquakes that have been happening, which this is not an earthquake-prone area, that could have something to do with the mini CERN that's in Dallas, Texas. They could be doing testing there, and it's causing some kind of effects, within so many little radius. I don't know. That's just me guessing.
Well, the 5G's got a lot to do with that on frequency.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 5G, though, it's using microwave frequency,
Yeah,
whereas before the old phone towers, they were using radio frequency.
those 5G towers are literally opening up portals because we've watched it happen here in my backyard. Yep. It's exactly what they're a weapon, but they're also a key that opens up doors, I'm telling you guys.
That, and when they were making Sheffield 5G, they cut down a load of trees, but it wasn't enough because as soon as they flipped that switch and it turned on, some of the trees started dying, and it's like the dead ones they left there long enough started catching fire on their own.
That's why the birds are going out of the sky dead too. It's not disease, it's because of frequencies. Yeah. And think about the ocean, they're all dead. There's nothing left in the oceans. Starfish, the sand dollars, everything's dead. They killed
Yeah, look at what happened with sonar when they were doing that. All those experiments. It's like whales were losing the natural guidance system.
Yeah, they were
And
completely
they'd be like washing up on shore everywhere.
they were beaching themselves due to the echolocation. Absolutely.
A few of them over the years have even appeared in the Thames in London. But I think that's a psyop. I don't think it was a whale in the Thames. I just think that was like Diane Abbott going for a weekly bath.
Shame.
Because that fat bitch, she couldn't fit in a bathtub. It's got to be the
Shame. Yeah, boy.
Forgive me, God, for telling the truth. Yeah, it's like, first of all, if you want to say there's a problem with people eating unhealthy, like kids eating unhealthy,
yeah,
don't be obese when you're saying it.
Well, let me tell you something. Speaking of obesity or whatever, it has nothing to do with it, but this just popped in my mind. What I find just downright disgusting? First and foremost, people that are uneducated and so stupid, and they're saying that they're going to become vegetarians due to cow flatulence. Because these people are saying that they're going to tax people for cow farts. So they're like, oh, I don't want to ruin the earth. You know, I'm going to stop eating meat. And then those same dumb people that become vegetarians say it's okay to eat human meat that's grown in a petri dish. That is the most ignorant, stupid thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Criminal. I mean, that's
Also,
just,
I think it's like if everyone stopped eating beef, there'd be no reason to keep cows alive, would there? So it'd be like, you might as well just exterminate them all and send them the way of the dodo because there'd be no use for them. The
God,
only
man,
reason they're kept around is because they have a purpose.
what sanity? What about eating human meat grown in a petri dish is sane? Come on,
Nothing. I wouldn't eat it.
that's disgusting.
I wouldn't eat anything grown in a petri dish.
Well, I think we probably already are, unfortunately. You know, there's
I'm
many
paranoid about my food UK's history.
there's many times I've bought chicken and I knew that shit wasn't chicken, okay? And there's many times I bought bacon and I know what bacon smells and looks like and cooks, how it cooks. And this stuff was not bacon I brought home. Just saying. You know, look at those Chinese plastic eggs that they're making and selling to people. That's disgusting too. That Chinese
Yeah.
egg. Look at the cabbage. You know?
I looked into that, you know, those fake Chinese eggs they're making.
Yeah.
Where it's made out of the chemicals and the plastic.
Yeah.
It actually costs them more to produce them than it does to produce a real egg.
Well, exactly. That right there tells you that it's all about, you know, killing off the people. It's all about Agenda 21. You know, and the Georgia Guidestones, they want most of us dead, so we're easier controlled in a populace.
Be little grey aliens running around after that. The rest of them.
Yeah. Little gray aliens, to me, are fallen angels, you know, taking on a different form, shape-shifting, if you will.
Or androids.
Yeah, as well.
Oh no, I actually see them as the souls of the ones of religion.
That's an interesting perspective.
That they're casted inside. Okay, just think that of the grey alien like inside a cube, and it's inside this body. Now, just say your soul now, your human soul, is now inside this casting of a shape like an alien. It's got no penis. It's got no,
Got no sexual parts.
yeah, and it doesn't go taller than this and that. So you can see the way that they're modifying all this food and this and that. It's just going to be like a mash food, what they live on.
I don't even see it as being gray aliens, Bruce. I would say clones are probably what you're referring to. That would be what they made clones for. You know? Test tube people and clones, that's probably housing for these beings that you're discussing. You know?
Yeah, but what I'm seeing it as is it's a vessel for your soul next.
Yeah. Gotcha.
One who didn't find your freedom, find the connection with creation.
Yeah. Well, I
It
mean,
was the only way to have their essence carry on.
yeah.
Because, well, just look at it. What I see it of, we're all living in heaven. You guys call it heaven, hell, whatever. We're living eternally now. You know, like life doesn't stop. Your soul is internal.
Right. I see that too.
So all what you're looking for next is the next vehicle, what that soul's going to transcend to. And it doesn't want to evolve that way, like to be part of nature, to become a tree, become an animal, become a horse or whatever, or eagle. It wants to just hold on to, no, I'm a human, my soul is a being and I'm of this makeup.
Well, you know, Bruce, a lot of people say that they feel that originally people had to work their way up to becoming human. You know, that like they started out as a blade of grass or as a flower or a tree, and then they moved on to be a horse or a dog, and then from there they graduated on to becoming a human. Now, I don't believe that way because that's not the way I was taught or indoctrinated. I believe the way I was taught, that I was made in God's image, that I'm special out of every other creation. Only human beings are made in God's perfect image. And that's why we're so hated. That's why the whole world comes up against us. The beings that are soulless beings, they see us for who we are. They see the light that shines in us, which is the spark of the breath of life. Which that is the spark of the breath of God, God's spoken life into us. Like the other night, we kind of had a debate about angels having souls. I don't believe angels have souls because angels are an old creation. They're made of fire, and they are eternal beings in a separate form than humans. I don't believe they have souls because when the fallen angels came down here and mated with the human women and had their children, the children, when they died, they became the demons on the Rephaim, which are the dead things, and they could not carry on and move somewhere else because they were not fully human, they were hybrids. So if angels had souls, then the giants, the offspring of these beings for humans, would be 100% with souls, but they're not, they're soulless. Yeah.
Well, as I look through the eyes of the 13th angel, as I took the look on, that I've met 4 angels down here, as I've met Jesus in spirit, and those 4 were like him, and they do have a soul, but what they have got extra, what you haven't got, is the essence of the Holy Spirit. They have all these a soul. To me, I see a lot of souls here. They're just like black shadows. Wow. And these grey ones coming around. People have actually already gone that path of the grey Orgons, the grey aliens. Some have already gone that way. But okay, so these black shadows, what I've seen in these angels is they got all these glitters moving around inside them. And that's the spark of divinity. That's the spark, like how they say the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit.
Well, Bruce, might I add in there, before Jesus came, human beings did not have the Holy Spirit within them. It was outside of them, beside them. And after Jesus came, and when Jesus was crucified and left this place, the Holy Spirit was left with us. So therefore, the Holy Spirit dwells inside of us. All of us who are saved have the Holy Spirit who lives inside of us. So we do have the Holy Spirit.
Look what you just said. This is what I've been trying to tell you. Like Peanut and them and their arguments, Christian. What you said is what I found. All these others, they want to give up this body and go and live with him, spirit somewhere else. But when you find that you've got that spirit inside you, we call it the mana. The Māoris look at your mana. That's the spirit inside the soul. You don't need to be saved. You're part of it. Spiritually immortal. So, yeah.
I'm still here.
Another way you could look at it.
You keep looking into your scriptures of what it said in black and white, but you've got to start realizing that that's written by a man. You got to see what. If you want to follow, I call him my brother Jesus. If you want to follow his teachings, it's live what he talks about. Speak the truth. Be the truth. People keep going about this world's full of lies and this and that. But if everybody starts speaking the truth themselves, what people haven't realized is it stems from within us, within inside us, of what we entrench from out here. And it goes with the way we've been conditioned and controlled and this and that. And what it's done, it's divided ourselves with the divided left from right. You look at the politics, it divides the people from left to right. but within your, you actually divine within inside yourself. And in those scriptures, it says to leave your body and go with this other spirit. Then knowing that the spirit is actually inside you, if you want immortality, that you this is all a part of a ride. This is my vehicle I've got at the moment. I'm living an existence of this organism of life. This is my vehicle, this base, what you see here now. People are starting to see this other essence I know about, and it's well, to say this other essence, it's a light what comes from the dark, okay? What I found when they say go to the light, no, it's the light from the dark. So you have to love that first. And then you'll see, then it transcends from that darkness. You are the light from that darkness. And that's essence what I found. Where everything else is dividing, like go to the light and the dark is bad. Okay? I'm just, if you can see, but more, it's coming, yeah, people are starting to see things. Even like how they're saying about another moon and stuff like that. You know, that goes to these talkings of the Anunnakis. They say that they were from a planet and the sun blew up. Well, it's actually was. They created the heaven, okay? They created an afterlife. You see them all with those Egyptians, and they like got a bag in their hand. Well, that bag means the laptop computer.
Yeah, the Sumerians had that. Yep, too. Yep.
And what that laptop done, it made they done this thing with the soul, the essence, that shadow, and they made it conscious. And that's why you're immortal right now and you don't know it. Because you're not tapped in with inside this vehicle. This is your vehicle of the soul. You're not tapped in with your inner self to realize, to have this conversation, sort of like your inner knowing.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, Bruce, in the Gospel of Thomas, you know, these are Jesus's own words. He said, whoever finds the interpretation of these things will not experience death. And then Jesus said, let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. But when he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all. So that right there tells you, you know, you seek until you find. And, you know, if you're walking in between two worlds, when you find the truth of all things, it'll blow your mind, you know. And unfortunately, like you're saying, there's a lot of people out there spouting off a bunch of hot air because that's how they've been indoctrinated, but they're not out there truly seeking the truth. They're not seeking the keys to the kingdom. They're not seeking anything more or less than what the world has indoctrinated them into. Therefore, they don't comprehend, another person, and then they can just become downright ugly, and you see people for their true colors, for who they really are, for what their essence is.
I can see that text what you just read then of Thomas so true.
Yes.
For me to say that I look with the eyes of the 13th angel, because
Yes.
it's a story what I took on from Jehovah. It's where I put my head around him as a God, and I got offered a deal after that to give up the name. So I found that our names are very. It holds that the essence of that soul being.
Yeah.
So I hold the soul being inside this vessel as thy 13th angels is inside here.
Mm-hmm.
I love myself. My mana is inside me. My spirit is inside me. It's all part of me.
Right. Well, God has a name for each and every one of us. It's not the birth name, but we have our own name that's given by God. Yep. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I just want to throw that in with what you were saying.
Yeah.
Here's one thing where it's like people don't think about it, like the soul, the human body.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. The human body is just like a soul driving a skeleton wrapped in a meat suit.
It's a meat suit. Yeah, a meat suit.
When the meat suit breaks down and that body's no good, the soul moves on. You can look at it like a mobile phone when you're updating it.
We're just walking through another door when we leave here, man. You know?
Yeah, it's like, think about it. When your phone breaks, you've got like your accounts on there. When you buy a new phone, you just put in like your email, your passwords, and all that, and it downloads it all to that phone, to that new phone.
I'll be right back, guys.
Now, what
Yeah,
you
that's
just
how the soul
Ethereum,
works.
what you
But
did
it's like,
then, yeah, Ethereum. That's what I'm showing you on like those pictures of those Egyptians holding those briefcase. That's
Yeah.
the laptop, and that's the that was how they tapped into the machine of the consciousness of the soul. They brought the soul from consciousness to conscious, but you're not aware of it because, but your thoughts. That's your consciousness. Your thoughts, what come to you,
it's-
and that
there's
left
bad
and
things
right.
as well.
Yeah, and the left and right is your own decision on are you going to take a good thought or are you going to follow the bad thought? Because there's always at times, and they say it like temptation, but that's your, because you've got to get the balance of good and bad to balance as the feather, to be as light as the feather. You've got to balance the good and the bad. They both exist inside you.
Yeah, it's like you got to think of the outcome before you take the action as well.
Yes. Sometimes some things are like a mystery. You don't always know the outcome because it's like a mist behind mystery.
Yeah, it's like if there's two doors there in front of you, sometimes you got to flip a coin and decide which one you're going to open.
Yeah.
Do you take the door on the left or the door on the right? You don't know where either go though, so it's like flip a coin and take whichever. That's what some decisions have got to be like. But then there's other ones where it's like you've got to think about it. It's like, say you've got a cake in your fridge, and it's like 2 a.m. You've been out, you've got the munchies.
I want cake. Go
You
ahead.
don't think if you eat that cake, then you're likely to fall asleep eating it and not really enjoy it, or likely to eat the whole thing.
I will
You
always
just
enjoy
few
cake. I will
drinks.
always enjoy cake.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
the sensible decision is on that type of thing. You got to think, yeah, do I want cake later as well? So instead of eating the whole cake, you take a slice of that cake.
I don't care as long as it's cake.
Yeah, the cake's like a metaphor, so it's like a non-existent cake.
Oh, shit, no, you ruined it for me. I don't want a metaphoric cake. Go ahead. I'm eating my supper. I was hungry.
Well, it's like you might want to drink at night time, but you got to think it's like if you're going to bed, like a cup of like espresso coffee is not really the best option if you're wanting to sleep, is it?
Well, in a way, that's where, in our body, that's what's been taken away from us is the sleep of the soul, because of the dark and the light. The dark's been taken away, and the light has been controlled, so it doesn't have anywhere to rest. So it just keeps evolving. I just got to spot off.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like when do you most normally get the distractions, like when you're doing something. It's like this is from experience and stuff with work. It's like you get to your like time when it's your break time, and like the 5 minutes before the break is when you'll get like all the extra work.
What is that about breaking a work? What?
Think about it. It's like with the way this reality works. It's like you can be working. Say like, I noticed this when I had the golf shop. You can be sitting there for like an hour, no customers. You know, where it's like you're putting anything through the till.
When it's time to close?
You put it so it's like you're going on like your lunch break in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then everybody crowds in.
It's like 10 minutes, and then it's like 5 minutes till you're closing up the shop to go for your lunch break. It's like shop suddenly packed, like it knows you're going to go on your break then.
Yep, that's the Matrix. I agree with you, Preliminal. Jesus makes sense for me too. Jesus has always resonated with me since the day I was little bitty and first started learning about him. You know, I've never, ever, ever wanted to be curious and turn away from God, ever. Now I've fallen away, you know, because I was sinning, you know, but I never turned my back on him, you know. My love for the Lord's always been there. It's always been real. You know, I've never been able to comprehend how somebody can profess to be a person of God or love the Lord and find such hatred towards others in that walk or that love that they say they carry. You know, because we're not commanded while we're on this earth to do harm to others, and that includes the non-believers. You know, we're to be fishers of men, but you know, where do we draw the line? You know, I kind of feel like right now everybody needs to be working on their own salvation because we're so close to the end. You know, but I'm not going to judge another because of their belief or because because of where they come from. I believe everybody should have the right to free speech. You know, speak your mind.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if you just let the people talk, you'll see that we're all talking about the same thing. They're just giving you a different depiction or just description of what they're saying.
Yeah, they'll use a different name for something.
There we go. It's just my opinion. You know, a lot of times, the way I look at it, say if you're going down the road and you experience an accident, you have a black man, a white man, an Asian man, a Hispanic man, and they all see the same wreck. Well, each and every one of those people are going to give you a different description of what they saw. But when they get done with the end of the story, it's all going to come out to be the same story. But it's just because of their culture and the way they were raised, they see things differently or they describe things differently. But in the end, they're all saying the same thing. You just have to have ears to hear, you know, and want to comprehend what they're saying.
Yes, they don't even have to be like different culture backgrounds. They might just be standing somewhere different.
Well, you know, because
It's like,
differently, they just are, and we're different people, and that's just how it is. You know, that's all I'm saying.
yeah, it's like I think there could be like two people on the street, one and they're like facing each other, and they'd both be saying like one would be saying yeah the accident was on the right hand side of where they were, and the other one would be saying it's on the left hand side because they're facing different directions, even though it's like both the same side.
So you're speaking of perspective, total perspective, right?
Yeah.
And I believe what you're saying too, Patrick. I feel the same way, Patrick. Anytime I have a question, I take it to the Lord. I can open up my Bible at any given time, and boom, there's my answer. It's just such a blessing to know that that's real, and He's real. Absolutely. What Preliminal put, he said, practice spiritual heedance and abidance best we can. Wait, we need to rely on His grace. And he said, any question, bring it to the all-knowing, almighty sovereign. I believe that with all my heart.
Amen.
Amen. We'll third that amen because Chloe amened it first. Where did Bruce go?
Yeah, he said he'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I figured eventually they would all turn on Bruce, you know. I
think it's wrong though. It's like Bruce is awesome.
Bruce is awesome. And it's so wrong to be ugly to somebody.
Oh, Chair, thank you.
Oh, you're back.
And Bruce, remember, you're always welcome on my channel.
Mine
No,
too.
no 13th angel from down in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Yeah.
I heard somebody on one of the chat on one show one time, and they were saying the Antichrist is going to come out of New Zealand. It was quite
No,
interesting what she was saying.
no. He's not. He's not.
Well, now I put out a video and I announced myself as the Antichrist.
Yeah, I believe the Antichrist is supposed to come out of Assyria, and he's supposed to be a Jew. He's going to be a Jew, an Assyrian Jew. That
Yeah,
could
and
be
he's going to
true.
want people to be like eating kosher and circumcising people.
See, that's where I'm a lot different, eh? Like, I'm not the sort of person like, oh, maybe this person's the Antichrist or this, that, whatever. I announce myself that I'll be the Antichrist.
There have been several already.
That's like wearing the blame of everybody's waiting for something bad to come along. That's like really throwing out on you. There's a bad motherfucker. I'll just say it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's okay.
In the house,
Uh-huh.
under the ceiling, and he's going to rock this dome
Well, I'm taught
in the YouTube.
that the believers aren't even going to be here. You know, before that takes place, the believers will be taken out of here along with the Holy Spirit. Everything's lifted. Boom. And twinkling of an eye, we're changed, given glorified bodies. That's how I believe.
That's happening right now, don't you? You know how you were saying earlier that something came swishing past you,
Uh-huh.
and it didn't actually hit you, but you just sort of like seen it flying past.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where you're going to be. You've already experienced.
I believe heaven. I believe heaven's right here beside us. I absolutely believe that. Yes.
That swishing.
Yeah.
That's next time when I feel that go past, I'll know that that's you.
All right.
Well, you might laugh at that, but
Yeah.
because
No, I'm not
walked it-
laughing at it. No, I'm not laughing at it. I'm laughing with you. It's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
good thing. Yeah.
Oh, because you're really laughing at yourself because that's you.
But it makes me happy. What you said made me happy. What
It's a
you
good
said.
thing because it's
Yeah.
what you. It's your desire.
Yeah.
It's what you have projected with your mind.
Yes.
Everything you believe.
Yes. As long as you know I'm not laughing at you, what you said makes me happy. I'm right along with you.
As well, I'm saying it's not a joke for me to say that because
Right.
because I've walked to what the place you call heaven, Shangri-La, and there's no time there. Okay, time's like a lineal.
Well, I don't believe God deemed humans to be in the heavens. We weren't made to be in heaven. We were made to be on earth, and that's exactly where we're going to stay. You know, the Bible says Jesus will return, and when all the evil's defeated, we will rule here on the earth with him. You know, it doesn't say anything about us going up to heaven. You know, just saying. A lot of people think, oh, when I die, I'm going to heaven. Well, no, not really. No, not really. You know, the earth was created for humans. This is our plane. This is our heaven right here. So, you know, yeah, I can take that with a grain of salt, but that's how I believe. You know, this is our heaven because God made the earth for humans.
Nature's children.
There you go.
It's more like a testing ground, if you think
And,
about it. It's like, look at Jesus, how he ascended.
L1.
He was even pointing out how it's like the
L1.
realities are layered on top of each other. And you've got to make yourself better and better to ascend.
Darian, Jesus is only on vacation. He's fixing to be back.
Plus, it's like, with some of the experiments I've done with like frequency around the times I was shifting, it's like I was getting like glimpses of all the realities side by side. It was trippy, and it was like one of those experiences where you wish you were high at the time to enjoy it, because it's like that scary looking at it the way it is. So it's
Well,
like the perception of like what's around you. It's like you can only see so much, but there's
Yep.
other stuff there as well, which is just like slightly out of tune with this reality. It's like, you know, with the radio style frequencies where you have to tune it in. It's like that. You're only able to perceive what it's like, the signal where it's like you're registered to. When you start changing that dial around, it's like you start seeing all the other frequencies that are there.
There you go.
hidden realities,
Yeah,
dimensions.
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
interdimensional. I feel like it's interdimensional beings. You know,
I-
and everything's happening all at the same time. It's all laid
Okay.
out flat like a book. You know,
Yeah.
future. It's all here.
So when you see the dome, the tube,
Mhm.
and everything's traveling inside that,
Uh-huh.
and as you see in different dimensions, 5% of matter is what they say is in that spectrum
Yep.
of what you can see now on my screen. Like, say that you're in that house like that, and 5% of matter's in there. So within dimensions, time is linear. So time doesn't like exist in a motion, like it's set in that stone, because stone is alive. That's where that picture when Jesus holds up a stone in his hand, a rock. That rock is alive.
I believe everything on this planet's alive. Everything
That's
has a spirit.
by the picture, because he asked me, what am I thinking when I'm holding this rock?
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
alive.
a rock lover. I'm a collector
The
of
rock
rocks.
is alive.
Just so you know, I'm a collector of rocks.
So when you see that and everything is alive, everything is moving. I'm
Yes.
moving at 333 miles per second.
Mhm.
So every in that house there, everything, and there's 5% of matter in there, and everything else is moving in atoms and molecules. My face, my eyes. See how you see two eyes?
Yeah.
Two eyes seeing out.
Yep. Yep.
And that's the left and the right.
Mhm.
And what the Bible's about is divide and conquer, because that's what why they have religious wars and all. And in that house, they want to take it from two eyes in that house to just one eye.
Yeah. Yep.
I've just shown you guys the beast system
There you go.
in the simplest form, that the way I could just show to you where you are and all about when I talk about the beast system. You're in the beast system,
Yes.
and this is the mark of the number. You come
Uh-huh.
into this world, everybody has a number already.
Yep.
You're born within 6 weeks. You'll get fined if you don't have your child registered as a name.
Yes.
So I didn't name my child Jesus. So that showed me that Jesus won't be born into this world, because it's controlled by the government, and they won't let you have a child born with that name,
My husband's Jesus.
named on birth certificate.
Yes. My husband's name is Jesus. Yep. 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 That's my husband's name.
Oh, in New Zealand, you're not allowed to register your child with the name Jesus.
Oh wow. It's crazy.
That's wrong, that.
In the registry office. Oh, they've got some names that they've just
Wow.
controlled.
I can't believe that they can control what you name your child. Oh wow. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, my husband, his name is Jesus, but he goes by Jesse. Yep. Yeah, you know, the Catholics, they're big on naming their children after the saints of that month. And my husband was born September the 11th, which is the day before Jesus' actual birth, September 10th. Yeah. If you think about it, that's why all the terrible things always happen. Excuse me. My husband was born on September 10th, and the 11th is Jesus' birthday. If you think about all the things that happened on 9/11, that's why they're doing it to count. They're doing it contra God, against God. They're doing it against Jesus to basically try to slap people in the face. But they've done people down so much now that nobody even knows Jesus' actual birthday. They don't realize that his birthday's on 9/11. But the Catholics are very good date keepers. They've kept up with all the dates, and they know Jesus' birthday is 9/11 as well.
I've just been thinking of something what Bruce was saying before. He was saying about it's like think of it like a house.
Yes.
Yeah, think of that speech Abraham Lincoln made. The house divided one. A house divided cannot stand.
It falls. Yes.
Yeah, that's like the destination of all the governments with the way they're going. They're all falling.
Well, Abraham Lincoln was not part of the royal snake family either. He wasn't a reptilian. He was a man. Therefore, that's why they assassinated him. Just like with Kennedy. That's why he was assassinated.
And that's like why they wanted to assassinate Trump. It's like if you look at all of those situations, like Lincoln at the time, Kennedy at the time, or the propaganda what was around at those times.
Yeah.
It's the exact same bullshit we're seeing today being used against Trump.
Trump isn't a reptile, but Trump is bringing in the freaking New World Order with this bill he just signed. So
Trump's a businessman. He's doing what looks to him to be the best options out of the ones he's given.
Yeah. Well,
it's like say you've got
I think
a load of decisions on a table in front of you.
Yeah.
You look at these decisions, you're forced to take one.
Well, you have to, yeah.
You take the one with the best outcome.
Yeah.
Well, the one with the best looking outcome.
Well, with the stuff, what Trump just signed, he's basically allowing them to bring forth the no-hide laws, and roll that stuff out. And you know what that means. We get to go meet the good old guillotine, which I'm not afraid.
But that's just already in place.
If I'm here and that's my fate, so be it. I'll be first in line. I'm not scared. I don't fear death.
With that no-hide law thing, that's like the way they make it a state of emergency every time a new president gets in. It's one of those things where it's repeated over and over and over. It's like Obama did it, Bush did it, Clinton did it.
No, it's not the no-hide law therein. It's martial law that they roll in. The Noahide laws are saying that if you're a Christian and you believe Jesus died on the cross for you and that he's the Son of God, that you're blaspheming God himself because they don't believe Jesus was the Son of God. They're still waiting on their Savior to come. Now the martial law, that's whenever it takes away the American people's rights. And that's what happens whenever we get a new president. And that's what happens every month whenever they do the emergency broadcast system. They're just reenacting martial law, and people are thinking that they have all their rights, their First Amendment right, and all the amendments, are enacted, but they're not. All of our rights have been taken away from us secretly, and there's very few that are able to get the word out and inform people as to what's going on. Just saying. No-hide laws are saying that Christians are common criminals and we need to be murdered for our beliefs. That's completely different from martial law.
Well, I'd say when they try and enforce that, basically you've got every right to defend yourself.
Yeah.
It's like follow God's law, not man's law, when it's that type of situation.
There you go.
And God made it. It's like he said, if it comes to defending yourself, you got to do it.
Yeah.
They go back to the Ten Commandments all the time, thou shalt not kill. But look at God when he anointed David to slay Goliath. Yeah, God sent David to slay Goliath. Remember that?
God also commanded that they kill everybody at one point in time that was drinking water like a dog, and the ones that drink water from their hands were civilized, and the ones that drank water like dogs were to be killed because that was showing they were hybrids. They weren't fully human; they were lapping like dogs. They weren't civilized.
Yeah, so it's like where they're trying to push this idea of submission. Never submit. If you see something that's wrong, you call it out because remember, silence is consent.
Kick your butt, you get my shoe.
You've got to defend the weak. If someone's weaker than you and they're in danger, you help them, don't you?
Well,
And
that's
if it's like gets to a point where they're like wanting to kill everyone who worships Jesus, yeah, I'm not gonna lie down and let them kill me. I'm gonna fight back.
well, I mean, that's not a problem, you know, defending myself. But if it comes to it and I get locked up because I wasn't able to escape my food, and you know, I'm in some stupid concentration camp or whatever. Like I said, I'll be the first one in line. I'm not afraid. I don't fear death because it's just another step. You know, death is just another step in the process of my being, you know, and your being as well.
Yeah, if I'm in that type of situation, it's like they want me to walk to a guillotine or something. They're gonna have to shoot me because I'm gonna do everything within my power to stop that from happening.
I don't have a
I'll
problem.
fight against it.
I don't have a problem being a martyr because that's going to be my surest way to not be fried because of my little wicked ways.
No, I'm just gonna not make it easy for them. I'm not gonna give them the reaction they want.
Yeah.
It's like look at all those people that were captured by ISIS and killed.
Yeah.
Where they're made to line up and sit there while their friends were being beheaded and everything, and they just sat there. Rather like die on my feet than die on my like knees. I'd be like standing up and saying like "fuck you" right in the faces. I wouldn't be quiet for their bit of propaganda. I'd fight back.
Well, you know, a lot of that stuff that they've shown on YouTube and on TV and stuff is just exactly that. What you said is propaganda. It didn't even really happen. You know, a lot of it's just
Yeah, some
lies.
of it did
Fear.
though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a
I
lot of
believe it.
footage and stuff and evidence of where it did happen, like where you can see like the decapitated corpses.
Oh, yeah. I believe that.
Yeah, but the fact that everyone was just like sitting there, it's like they knew they were gonna die, and they just sat there and waited for it.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't anything they could do.
There is, they could have like fought back. It's like if you know you're gonna die anyway, it's like you might as well give it a chance fighting back because then it ruins their piece of propaganda.
Yeah, but they probably have been tortured so much to the point where they've just given up anything, and death was going to be their sweet release. You know, I'm just saying, I don't know, but I'm just guessing on that matter. You know, I mean, 'cause that's one thing that other countries are famous for is torture. You know?
Yeah, but look at the attitude. It's like everywhere. It's like the organized religion when it comes to Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like going, Jesus turned the other cheek, so should you.
No, I don't believe in that. I'm not Jesus. If you
Yeah.
slap me, I'm gonna kick your ass. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not Jesus. I can't be that perfect. Sorry.
Me.
People are like that.
But you know, I don't even think it was referring when Jesus said turn the other cheek. I don't think it was referring to Christians being wusses, because nowhere does it say for us to lay down and take it. We're to be strong. We're to be warriors.
Yeah, but that's the propaganda they push and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how I've always been taught. You know, you don't back down from your beliefs. You stand for who you are and what you are.
Yeah, and you fight for your freedom.
There you go.
It's people think like rights, like human rights. It's like something that's going to be there forever, but it's not. It's like it's more like a privilege. You've still got to keep fighting for it to stay there.
That's true, because the evil
Like,
world,
you don't fight for it to be there, they'll take it away from you without you noticing.
just like it talks about evil. Joy. Go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead.
But you'd call evil as like in the beast system as your number, you know.
Well, for me, evil is the one that's opposing God, the one that's against me.
And it says that you have to wear the mark 666 or
Yeah.
Jesus can be saved.
666 is the number of man, you know, and 666 is also www, which stands for the internet.
Yeah.
Va in Hebrew. Yeah. So I mean, depends on what point of view you're coming from there, because you know there's several.
But when you see the internet,
Uh-huh.
that's the immortality of your soul.
Well, all AI comes from Israel, just so you know.
Yeah. And you see them holding their briefcases, those Egyptians, that's the laptop, and it makes you soul conscious.
Yeah. Well, here's this. All AI comes from Israel, and Satan is attacking Israel. So we think of Israel, and they're bad, or the Jews, they killed Jesus or whatever. But we don't realize that without Israel, there would be no Jesus, and without Jesus, we wouldn't have our salvation. And that's basically why Satan is doing all the attacking, because he knows that he's lost. Satan knows that he's lost. I mean, Jesus did his part. We're saved. Story over.
It's also, you got to think, it's like AI is the biggest lie of all.
Yeah.
It's like people think, that Cortana, Alexa, all those like devices, that's artificial intelligence, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like they could program that, so they trapped souls in that.
Yeah, it's not artificial by any means. I don't believe that either. No. It's got a more nefarious take on it. I mean, we can sit around all day and guess and be theoretical, but I don't think any of us will truly know all the answers until it's all said and done, and we're out of here.
Yeah, it's think that how can they make artificial intelligence when they can't even come up with real intelligence? These like governments and all these companies.
So true.
It's like, how can you make a copy of something if you've not got it to begin with?
Right. Well, I mean, that's one thing I've found. I mean, these people that are part of the, creating the beast system and rolling it out, they are highly intelligent and they are super wealthy, but they have no common sense. They're dumb as tacks. When they come up against the people of God, they lose every time.
But
it's like they have knowledge but no intelligence.
When you say come up before God, but in their policy, they've got a thing saying that's why they're doing it, isn't it?
Say that again, so I understand you.
Like how you're saying they're going against God.
Yes.
But isn't their policy that it's to just have one religion?
No, their policy is they're anti-God. They believe Lucifer was the savior. He was the good guy because he came out and gave man knowledge that the selfish, evil God was withholding from man.
You mean where those Geiger stones are in there?
Uh-huh.
The New World Order.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I took it as that it's for one world religion.
Well, they are wanting there to be a one world religion, and that's where everybody worships Lucifer.
Like,
you're just giving it a name.
You can give it many names. It's like you worship Baal, which is also another name for Lucifer.
Well, he comes in many forms with many names because
it's Lucifer a bad name, it's the morning star.
Well, he intends on there to be confusion. And there's two morning stars. There's Lucifer, the morning star, and there's Jesus, the morning star. And some people are confused by that alone and think Jesus is the Antichrist. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Just so you know.
And you've got.
Hey, there's one more thing I want to say real quick, guys. I mean, you might already know this, Darren, because I've spoken of it. But for those in chat, in case they don't know, if you've never heard of Posse Comitatus, that is a law that was enacted on United States ground to protect the American citizens. And what it stands for is the fact that the United States Army cannot go against any American people on our own soil. They can't come and do war with us or take our weapons from us or anything of that nature. Posse Comitatus was invented to protect us. So what that means is our local county sheriffs have more power and authority than our United States military. And if the United States military were to be given orders to come in and try to take our weapons from us or seize us any of our rights, our local sheriffs, if they're good men, like they should be, will be able to deputize every person in that county to make them a law enforcement where they're equal to a sheriff, where they can protect and defend themselves and their weapons. And also the color purple stands for royalty. And if you'll notice, the sheriffs always hail that purple. And that means they are the top dogs in the land as far as the law goes. So many people that are being worried about the military coming in and seizing our weapons and all that. Well, this has been enacted for many centuries to protect the citizens of the United States. Just in case y'all didn't know, I just thought I'd let you know that. It's
Yeah,
Posse
on that,
Comitatus, if anybody wants to look that up, okay? All right, go
yeah,
ahead.
on that topic, I'm just going to point something out. It's like the UK has the same type of rules. You know, where it's like British, like UK troops can't attack their own people.
Right.
But what I've noticed in the instances since the Brexit vote initially,
They brought in
there's
foreign
been
troops.
an increase of Black Hawk helicopters flying around. If you look at them through like a pair of binoculars, you'll see the EU flag on the side of it. And why are they flying around major UK cities in the skies at night and early hours doing exercises there?
Yeah, well, that's the idea. They want to what is it? They want to make the people what is it? They want to scare the people. They want to the people. What's the word I'm looking for? They want to make you fearful, you know. They want to make the people fearful because most people don't know their own God-given rights.
Yeah, and it's like most of the police they use. It's like that video I put on me old channel of a day where it's showing the police attacking the protesters in London and the rioting in the streets now.
Yeah.
When I was editing through that, removing all the brutal footage so I could put it on YouTube, like with all the blood, removing all that.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of the police, they're like wearing the EU flag on the actual uniform.
Wow.
And
Well,
it's like,
our police wear
what's
our
on the police force? Yeah, it's like, when it's like a riot or a protest or something, want to put it so the person's like literally unable to stand because they're beating them so much. It's not like that. All they need to do is put them on the ground and like put cuffs on them. They should be like arresting them in the most peaceful, quickest manner, you know, and like stopping the violence.
Yeah.
Not trying to increase it and like encourage it.
Yeah. They're taking pleasure
It's,
in the pain of others. They're taking pleasure in the sickness, kind of sickness.
yeah, I've seen footage though from like where it's like in London,
Uh-huh.
where it's like they'll be hitting pensioners over like the back of the head with the riot batons full force, and the pensioner will be like right on the floor, and that's like the end of them.
Wow.
And it's like they say you should respect the police.
Yeah.
For a police force that does that, I've got zero respect. But it's like the police are there to keep the peace, not like injure civilians.
You have to give respect to give respect. Respect is, it's not just a given. You know what I'm saying? You have to give respect to give. You're not going to give respect to somebody who disrespected you.
Yeah, and it's like the attitude like they create. It's like they push people so far. It's like one day it's just going to turn around and it's going to bite them right in the arse. It's like when they're putting those like false bullshit against me that time, and the way they treated me. Yeah, instead of like in future, you know, instead of like trying to be reasonable, you know, and talking to them, because I know now they're not going to listen. I'm going to take every opportunity to make their life a living misery.
Well, I find it over here, like in Texas, the law is really hard. The law, they're hard. They go hard. If you just speak properly to them and speak to them with respect, you'll get respect back. You know, but when you lose, when you lose that respect for them, that's when they'll get rough on you.
Yeah, but when you're polite with them, you say yes, sir, no, sir, please, and thank you. It's that type of polite. You don't even swear in the presence because you're being polite and treating them like a human being.
No reason.
And they wait for the option to hit you for no reason. Yeah, I say in future, it's like if you see them and they're trying like that bullshit again, and you've got the option to hit them first, take it. If you've got the option to use their own stuff against them, take it. Because it's like if not, they'll do the same thing again. They've proven themselves once, so it's like tiger never changes its stripes.
When you got
never changes its spots type thing.
people over here, they don't last long because they people wind up seeing for what they are and who they are, and they lose their jobs like that.
Yeah, but think of all the innocent people they've put in prison in that time.
Oh yeah, of course, and it happens. Now, and I've also noticed, you know, the ones that are over here that are power hungry, they were the little nerds in the school that got on and have these little chips now. So that's why they go into law enforcement, so they can bully other people because they were bullied their whole lives. You know, that's just the way it works.
In a way, they should like feel like scared now because they took me down a rabbit hole just through their own stupidity. And I've now noticed it's like you know when they say they've got all this CSI crap. 99% of what they're saying is bullshit. They can't prove anything. They make up lies and force people, you know, like who are weak-minded, to try and believe that crap. But when you say to them, "Yeah, can you prove that's like a fingerprint? Can you actually prove it physically? Can you prove that's actually the physical DNA?" They can't. They can't back it up. They go, "It's the DNA for that person," but they can't show the evidence.
True.
It's like they've lost the ability to, which I don't even believe they had in the beginning anymore.
Yeah, I've heard you tell me some horror stories about over there in the UK, and I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, they put me in a cell
I wish-
opposite like this Muslim guy, and I was speaking to the Muslim guy through the door because there's nothing else to do. And it's like they went in there and they're beating him and stuff, and they're saying this is because you didn't comply and do what we said. And he was like, "I'm not doing that. That would hurt my family."
Yeah.
And he was calling them sick. And he's saying, "I want my children to be safe," and the way they're beating him.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't even fighting back. He was just lying there and taking it. And when they came in trying that stuff with me, I was just like, I wasn't fighting back like with my hands, but I was just using their own movements against me because I knew what to expect. And it's like they're falling over like bowling pins. And I was trying not to laugh. I was like, "Oops, sorry." While I'm kicking one in the nuts as they're pulling me round in a circle.
Whoopsie!
Yeah, and it's like I even headbutted them, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. That's because the guy behind me rocking me back and forth." And it's like I was like,
You're such a klutz.
I was just acting clumsy. It was like,
Hear me there? You're such a klutz. Whoopsie, you're such a klutz, you are.
yeah, that's what I was like.
Have you been drinking, sir? Okay.
Yeah, but since then, the more I looked into it, the more my attitudes changed against them.
Say hello. Hello, everybody. She's such a brat.
And it's got to the point now, it's like if I was walking along and I saw a police officer in trouble and they actually obviously needed help, I would just stand there and laugh and leave the people attacking them to it. I wouldn't even like go out of my way to help them now because of what they've done to me in the past.
Yeah. Get out of my coffee. She's drinking my coffee. Nasty. Come on, I gotta go get a whole new cup. Dirty bird. You dirty bird. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I don't know. We keep finding out the scriptures being manipulated and so many books being taken out of the Bible and them adding whatever they chose to add, and I'm just wondering how much of what we're reading is in actuality, what it was supposed to be, and not changed. That's really bothersome to me.
It is to me as well. So I've been looking through the Apocrypha and all the stuff they've removed.
Yeah. Me
And what
too.
winds me up is they don't give you like the original layout of the Bible from where these Apocrypha books were.
Yeah, it's all jumbled up.
It's like, it's like with these books in the New Testament or the Old Testament.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that say the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end. You know what I mean?
Have you seen that Bible where Jesus is spelt with a I?
Yeah.
The
Also
letter
seen
I?
it like, using, like the other names for Jesus, like where they're calling him, I think it's Yahweh or something, and like Emmanuel. Did you know there's like over literally 100 different versions of the Bible?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But after researching them, it's like the one thing I came across is you've got to be like extremely discerning. You've got to look at every verse individually. And you've got to think, was this originally there or was it added later, like by the Vatican or something?
So really, that's all going to be history if the New World Order kicks in, eh?
Yeah, the way they want things with New World Order is they want to try and remove religion, from being like individual. And have it like another one of those one box fits all type things. Think inside the box, live inside the box.
Well, that's all what religion is, though. Because it creates a heaven, an afterlife.
In part,
And that's what I mean by the story of the Anunnakis. They were like from heaven. And there's no more floating heaven up there anymore. That's right, where when you feel that whoosh of those spirits flying by, that's them living with Jesus out of body. And here we are in our vehicle, in our shower now.
Bruce, I kind of have the feeling resonating inside of me that Anunnaki are actually fallen angels.
Well,
You know,
that's just that goes with that's what they'd be. They'd be fallen angels. They
Yeah,
would have been once up there.
yeah. And you know what's upsetting to me is a lot of people don't realize if they go back and look at the Sumerian tablets, our Bible is only a minute, teeny, tiny little piece of information that's in the Sumerian tablets. Our Bible is almost word for word in there in the tablets. Yeah. Yep. But they don't say that anywhere in religious foundations, They've kind of chose to keep that out. How come they have,
Well, that kind of proof like that shows me and looking at it like the Anunnakis and then fallen angels and all that,
Yeah.
and then something about your Bible. That's where I say that Christ equals AI.
I know that the Anunnaki is in the Bible. It's the Anu. And the Pleiadians are also in the Bible. It speaks about Orion and the Pleiadians. In the Bible, the Pleiadians are, they're considered, they've defiled their own flesh. They're twice dead, and they're called body snatchers. Like they literally kill somebody, the soul exits, and they jump in the body. Like what we're seeing with Hollywood. A lot of these movie stars, we see that they died, and then all of a sudden they're back to life, but they only live like a year or so. So it's kind of like the bodies wear out, the vessels, and they have to jump in somewhere else. And that sounds really crazy, but that's just my experience, what I've seen in my research. Yep. Yeah, we could talk about some pretty controversial stuff, but I try not to because I don't want people to think I'm nuts. I'm not saying that I believe that, 100%. Like I always say, take it with a grain of salt, but because I can't prove anything. It's
the vehicle, so yeah, they could, anything can possess you.
Right. I mean, it's a theory, I'm not trying to be blasphemous or anything like that, but everything I've said, it's been found in research. So. Some people choose not to hear it. That's their free will, their choice to do so.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, my husband has come in and he's wanting to eat. And so I'm fixing it. I've been on here almost 4 hours. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Yeah, it went by fast, didn't it? I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, you guys. Thanks for joining me, Bruce and Therian and everybody in chat. God bless you guys.
Love ya.
Y'all come back now, you hear? Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Have a great day.
Peace out, guys.
Ara.